What you doing there, champ?
Waiting for you to get the show started.
Yeah, we're all waiting for you.
You're
bro.
supposed to do the intro,
Mate,
then
you're
you
doing
go,
nothing.
Josh is doing the story.
You're
All right, I'll
doing
do it then. Let me give you the reins. I'll fucking choke this horse. I mean, whip this horse.
It's all yours. Why were you going to choke the horse out?
Isn't that what they do? That makes them go faster, right?
Old Thunder.
I'll choke less if you run.
What?
He's like, nay.
Nah. Should you look into your camera?
I don't think I've ever actually looked into that.
Yeah, you got to look into it and say, "G'day," or whatever you want
Good
to
on
say.
y'all.
Whatever you want to say.
Just let it go. I'm
No.
a free baller. I don't plan things in my head. If I plan things in my head, they go wrong.
Can you just welcome everyone?
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, go.
We're doing it now.
Yeah, go. That one.
Do we do a little music?
No, there's no. Remember, no music anymore. You just look up at it.
Give me a
and-
beatbox. Welcome back to the Mellow Tiger, everybody. I'm here with my sister Brianna and Jordan, my brother. Yo, trying to rhyme my names with your names, but I can't. Yo. Is that good? Oh, that was a good finish.
I thought it would be nice.
Welcome back to the Mellow Tiger, everybody.
I thought it would be really- I would just be like, you know what? Y'all can start opening up. That's cool. Like, let's spread the love and
Like emotionally? Or?
Should we
no, just please
democracy,
don't do that.
right? Was that opening better than Bree's last 30-something?
Yes.
Combined.
Look, it was-
Chuck
was-
it in, yeah.
It was fire. It was just unexpected.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, you wanted to be expected.
No, like that was great. I just want the beatbox, the rap, like as bad as it could have gone, you did heaps. You know what I mean? That could have gone very badly, but you did
It could have.
great.
Yeah. You just got to dive straight in.
You kind of pulled it off.
He really helped me out a lot. It was the beatboxing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was doing a gym, like you know from The Office,
Oh,
like when
okay.
he's always like,
Oh.
like
The camera just pans in.
That's what it's like. But yeah.
Right. Well, apparently I'm taking over the show today.
Mm-hmm.
So
So what do you? We should.
what do I do with my hands?
We'll do a little bit of light housekeeping, and
I don't know, Lighthead. Can you do that,
I'll do
please?
that,
Thanks. Yeah.
if you're new here,
No dick touching. Sorry, go.
That ain't part of the rules.
Sean's like, gets
Gets
up
up
and
and walks.
leaves. No one's mentioned that to me. It's even worse because we're all siblings. Like, it's just like another layer of just wrong. Yeah, you can figure out what's going on already, what sort of vibe this is. Please like and subscribe. Or if you listen not on YouTube, if you actually listen to it, whatever platform you listen to it on, give it a review, a good review, or don't fucking bother.
Are bad reviews good reviews, though?
No,
No.
they're worse.
Are they?
Yes.
Just having the review isn't good in general, like it's another box.
I don't know. You want a good review.
Okay. What about average?
Like, don't.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get my
Have
head
you
around
been
this.
leaving bad reviews?
No,
What is it with
I was
your-
thinking about it.
You just have this thing with averages.
What's wrong with
Yeah.
average?
Every nothing, but if it can be good, you don't need to bring it back down to average. Do you know what
Okay.
I mean? Like if
Yeah.
it can exceed expectations,
Okay.
leave it there. Don't put it back down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
But leave that shit alone. But you rang me and you said to me,
I feel like I'm plagiarizing things.
That's not what you said.
That's not what I
You
said.
"Shh."
Just wanted to make it quieter.
That's actually no. But to be fair, you rang me to ensure you weren't plagiarizing anything, and you were like, "I've got it. I've done it. I've done the Wendigo, and I'm ready to go."
Mate, she is hot as.
And I cried a single tear down my cheek.
We're very, very proud.
So proud of you.
Thanks.
I cannot wait to tear
It was
apart.
shit. It's hard to actually focus on something proper and
For a period of time,
like
right?
not just a small story, but over a period of time because it took like so long to not just the effort to write it, but to there's parts where I'm just sort of like, oh, this is not that exciting, but other people might find it exciting. So I have to like force myself to change everything and write it in my own way of something that I'm not actually interested in. Like
Yeah.
sections of it. I haven't worked out how to bloody keep this thing unlocked the whole time. I haven't really had a good look, to be honest.
Does
In fact, I haven't
does it
looked
go
at
in
all.
sleep mode or something?
Yeah,
does it?
sometimes if I don't touch it enough, sounds like my wife. No, that doesn't sound like my wife.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to make a joke there. It didn't go the right way.
Did it? Or did it not? You can't tell.
It might have hit the right place. Let us
Maybe.
know it.
You're not used to hitting the right place, are you?
No, I'm not. No.
That's why your wife's always in sleep
I
mode.
did twice. Bad my children. Anyway,
No, you didn't.
you're right. So I done a story on the Wendigo. That's what it was on. So you think about it's what gave the inspiration for people to make movies and stories and lore on it. And they've from reading this book, they've obviously amped it up a bit and given it lots of
Pizzazz?
pizzazz. Yeah, like for movie sake.
Give 'em
and
the old
story
razzle
sake.
dazzle.
Yeah. Like it was a terrifying creature.
Because a Wendigo isn't scary enough.
No, it's not. No, they had to just like blow it up. Like
Can I ask you
yeah.
a question real quick? Because you'll know, because you're an
seven's the
expert.
answer.
No, are Wendigos like skinwalkers in the sense that to like the native tribes, are you not supposed to talk about it, or they don't want to hear? You know how sometimes they can't read about it,
Nah.
talk about it, or like hear about it.
No, you can. You can. It was well known. It's sort of similar to skinwalkers in a way. They can shapeshift in animals sometimes, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like.
I think skinwalkers are more like shamans and
They're
stuff.
people
like
that
Okay.
are full, that are able-bodied. They know what they're doing.
So
and
you
they
can talk about this, and it's not an issue. Okay.
Yeah, I hope so.
that. If not, we're fucked.
Yeah, because a Wendigo can travel through time.
There's no
space.
content for
Yes,
this show.
sorry, Josh. Actually, might work.
Well, there goes all that. Was that one sentence I had? Meh.
Yeah, just letting you know we can't
So what have
talk
you-
about it.
What have you guys done?
I have a good one actually, but isn't it? Yeah.
Well, for,
Today's all about you, sweetie.
oh, I'll rush through it then so we can get yours. Well, recently for Christmas, my dearest brother
Your only brother.
bought me a book on the Wendigo. Jeez, I hope it was you. It wasn't you. I was pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
The book was titled, and is titled, The Wendigo Lore Monsters, Myths and Madness by Chad Lewis and Kevin Lee Nelson.
And this is what the episode is. That's the
Yeah,
reference.
it's
to the
referenced from
episode.
this book and those guys that done. They went to these places and they actually went there to get the atmosphere and the feel and to do a bit more study. And
Fucking
all.
claim that shit on tax. Let me tell you,
Yeah, of course they did because it sounded like a holiday from a few sections.
dude. If we ever made money from this,
Yeah.
we're going to Brave Road.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going everywhere.
yeah. But yeah, so for hundreds of years, the early nation life of North America was plagued by ferocious, terrifying beasts, often forcing people to flee their communities until the monster had been dealt with or moved on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give to you the Wendigo.
Oh, I'm so excited. Can you pronounce it in other ways, or it's just Wendigo?
Now, it's like Witikawa. There's a lot of
'cause
other
I-
names for it.
I always said Wendigo.
It's I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Wendigo.
Yeah.
So it could be
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
it's
They say
Wendigo.
Wendigo,
Yeah, Wendigo.
but there is other names like Wetikawa and things like that for it. There's a lot
Okay.
of the
Different
Native
tribes.
American
tribes would
that,
use different sort of. So the most ferocious and terrifying monster to roam the lands of North America, from the boreal forest in its native habitat, all the way to Newfoundland and Labrador to the Rockies in the west, and from north of Hudson Bay down to the Great Lakes region. So it's North America up around Canada and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
A lot
Like
of
where
dogs.
it's-
lot of dogs in those names.
you're not- you're not a dog.
Newfoundland, Labrador, Rocky.
Yeah.
Well, Rocky's the name of a dog.
Yeah,
Like
Rockweiler.
it's just a bunch of breeds
That's
up there.
alright.
He lives
Yeah.
on the back of dogs. Here comes the Wendigo. Yeah, it's like a literal puppy's following. The creature's howl could turn a man's blood cold, even to ice. That was a big thing with Wendigos. It was all about the cold, how cold it is up there, and they thrived. Wendigos thrived in it, and it would always turn your blood to cold. And
North of the wall.
north of the
That's
wall,
what
yeah,
it gives me vibes of.
That is a cool little off bit, isn't it? Like turn their
Yeah.
blood to like ice.
yeah.
'Cause
Well,
it was
well,
always
we're coming up.
cold.
There's stories. There's more into that about how they actually found ice in people's veins, and they would throw ice and things
like
like
the drug.
that. The drug, yeah.
It's meth.
That's all it was.
It's-
So some are as tall as pine trees. There's some stories of some that actually grew once they got to ultimate power, or to like Super Saiyan times 7,
Yeah.
whatever it is these days. Fucking they,
In there, Chuck.
they reckon like big ogre. So like some are as tall as pine trees. Some would be like ogre-like, as you'd see the heads up the top of the pine trees.
Really?
Pull them out of the ground, like crash, and you could hear them coming, sort of thing.
Jesus.
They were rare, but that's what would happen if they were allowed to grow to full
if
power.
they eat
Yeah.
too many
Yeah.
people or something.
Yeah. So it dwells both in the pocket of reality between the material world and the spiritual world. So in terms of your dreams and reality. So it's like a little area there where they can jump back and forth. That's what makes it so terrifying and hard to kill.
Yeah.
It sort of can be in that middle where neither side can
Yeah.
get to it sometimes.
That just reminds you of Young Guns. Remember when they took the peyote?
Oh yeah.
They're like traveling around. Did you see the startles of that chicken? Remember that? Hey, you guys.
That makes me want to watch that so
guys.
bad.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, boom.
So the harsh north is perfect for the Wendigo to cause its chaos with hostile conditions including famines, snowstorms, and depressing winter nights. For without these, a Wendigo could not exist. So the way a Wendigo is evolved or born is a human who has gone through so much stress, so much on the body. Like it's like almost like a survival mode kicks in. It sees an opportunity and you're weak, can't resist it both spiritually and physically.
So it's
Slips
almost like
in.
a demon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort like a demon. Yeah, so slips in. But
I'm going to say right now, the Wendigo was created by someone who didn't want to live in that awful fucking cold terrain. And then the husband's like, no, we're staying. She's like, what about that Wendigo? He's like, the what now?
Excuse me, what did you say?
She's like, don't you think like San Diego would be nicer because there's no Wendigos in San Diego? And then they're like, what is a Wendigo? It's like a demon. And it's gonna eat us.
Sounds like it was created by the same person who created Jesus to like control people, maybe.
Yeah. But
Just put it out there.
you know what
Fear?
though? And
Install
then the
fear?
husband's like, shit, pack our shit, Lorraine, we're out of here.
Lorraine, her name's Lorraine. I'd be like, the Wendigo's coming for you.
And then
anyway.
they start leaving, and then the Johnsons are like, why are they gone? And she's like, oh, there were whispers of a Wendigo, and they're like, a Wendigo, what's that? Don't know. Let's go too. Like,
He's sort of pulling around. She's like, "Rah!" Jump scare. Okay,
That's exactly
flight
how-
or flight.
yeah.
I'm flying.
that's exactly how that started.
So, amongst all the North's hard conditions, there was still some native life. So, this is like north where it is very hard to live.
The Arctic, like
most people
Alaska
die.
and
Yeah, like
Yukon.
yeah. So it's like very hard to
You're a
survive, let
hard
alone just
person.
live. Yeah.
Yeah.
The indigenous Algonquians. So that's the name of all the indigenous people up there. It's just a name to reference them all. So had tribes like the Ojibwe and Cree tribes. So
Ojibwe are the tribe from
The Terror?
no, weren't they something else? That was
Sorry, the Dogman ones. The Ojibwe were the ones that were popular in
righto.
but they were the ones that
Oh,
lived
I
in
heard
that
them
area.
the other day again. What were they called?
Excuse me.
Ones off the Terror.
Inuits.
The Inuits.
Inuits,
But
yeah.
the Inuits is just another word for like because
Yeah.
it used to be Eskimo, but Eskimo is like a slur,
Ah,
so
right.
it's Inuit, not Eskimo. But that's it's the people who live in the Arctic,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the couple of the tribes that lived up there. Like I said, very few because it's very hard to live there. They are also the first to come into contact with the Wendigo. So when the stories first started, this is hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago when it first sort of started. So there are apparently 3 different types of Wendigo: a malevolent spirit-like entity, a mad human-driven to cannibalism, like stages.
That's
sort of
my
thing.
favorite one.
Yeah, or a large non-human ogre-like creatures. What it ends up getting to in the end.
That's too Harry Potter for me. I like the middle part.
Yeah, the
Like,
middle parts. The middle
in
part.
the dungeon.
Squirrel.
What you want to know?
So
I'm
most,
Hermione Granger.
I don't care. Oh, that's fucking good.
It's so good.
I wish I would watch more Harry Potter.
I think I can decide that for myself. Thanks. Just everything about it. Filthy little mudblood. Sorry.
That's all right. No more Harry Potter quotes. No one likes it.
I can't
Copy.
stop now.
So most of the Anglian tribes, not Anglian, sorry, I'm trying to pronounce this, Algonquian tribes.
Algonquin.
Algonquin. Is that what it is?
Algonquin.
Algonquians?
I think so.
Tribes thought that,
Algonquin.
we'll go with that anyway.
Yeah.
That way it's your fault.
You
if
can just
it's
say
right.
First Nations as well. That's another one.
Yeah, that was written in there a lot too. Yeah, so tribes thought that the giant Wendigos were once humans, but had transformed due to being spiritually attacked and driven to cannibalism. Once human flesh has been consumed, the transformation into the monster begins. So once you've tasted human flesh,
Do you
that's it.
remember that movie?
There's no going back.
Yeah, with Guy Pearce. It's fucking sick.
I know who Guy Pearce is,
You
but-
know the one.
Which one?
It's a Wendigo, but it's also like the Donner Party. So what happens is, it's like the army. You know, back in the day when they had forts.
I think I have seen
What's it?
that.
It's called hunger or starvation or something.
I think
it's called starvation.
It's like they got like muskets and stuff like that.
Shit
and it's
like that.
a old
And they
fort.
get this dude comes to them. He's like, "Yo, this little fort that I was a part of has been attacked by all these Native Americans."
Yeah.
Or it was something like that, and they're all gone. You need to come and help us. So him and these other dudes go to help him, and it was like a trap. The dude's actually a Wendigo.
Yeah.
And he's been eating
Oh,
people,
righto.
and he tries to convince Guy Pearce to
I
eat
have-
some flesh to become. It's fucking sick though. Like
I remember,
it's a really
I watched
good.
it ages ago here. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since, but I remember what it was. Ravenous.
Ravenous. That's
that
it.
it?
That's
Yeah.
it. It's
I think
really
I have
good.
seen it.
It's really good.
We watched it here. Like, no, not here.
Oh, back when we were like 2
at
years
Mum
old.
and Dad's. Yeah.
Let's be honest,
Chuck
Mum
it-
and,
yeah.
Mum and Dad were pretty flippant with ratings anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that movie not long ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, I've got no idea. Like, I didn't even know Guy Pearce was in
I
that.
watched it not that long ago, and it still holds up. Like it's creepy, but it's also like a period piece. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's really focused on the time.
Yeah.
And it is so creepy, but that's what it is. He tries to nurse him back to health or something by trying to feed him humans, and you have to make a choice or something in it. But it has a little bit of lore and everything. But that's basically what it. But they never use the word Wendigo. That's
Yeah,
just
right.
what he is in it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a cool game too called Until Dawn, I think it is.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like one of those ones where you can make decisions and you can, when it's jumping at you or something's happening, you got a limited time, hit that button or
it's
hit
like
that
a
area.
survival one
It's
where you
creepy,
don't
though.
really fight, but you have to. Do you go with Kim into the woods to help find her
Yeah,
brother,
there's
or
a
do
group
you
of
go
them in the
upstairs to
snow and
sleep?
It's creepy.
I think I've seen shorts of that.
Yeah, it's the
video
one where around the
game.
house they're hiding this thing like a bored little scangly thing. It's like,
Yeah, I have seen
it's
that.
real quick.
It's like you can flick the light on, or you
Yeah,
can choose to save
that's
her,
it.
or you can choose to
That's
run
it,
or
yeah.
whatever.
I always watch if there's a game that I don't want to play because I don't like games like that, but I enjoy the story of it. I'll watch someone on YouTube like PewDiePie or something do the walkthrough and play it.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what
the
I
same.
watched it on.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was based on like a bunch of Wendigos, wasn't it? Or was it
I only watched this
Skinwalkers?
couple of. No, I think it was when it was Until Dawn or something it was called,
Yeah.
and it said it was about a Wendigo. Or there must have been a Wendigo in it
I
as
think
part
there
of the
was a
story.
few.
It said Wendigo scene anyway. I was watching.
Oh, okay. It's a good one though.
It's creepy, like you. I liked watching it, but I don't think I could play it. I don't think I'd have the patience to
It's
sit there
kinda
and
boring
make
to
decisions
play.
and that. Yeah.
But in
So
the
they
back,
make decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, make this.
I don't
Do you want to
know.
come with me?
I was the
No,
same.
don't answer.
Did you ever hate like the Goosebump books like that?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Fucking hate it. Don't make me make it. Life is hard enough. In games, I like it where it's like, here you go, you've got 7 different, you can do the story mission, you can do some side missions, but whatever you do has no bearing on the outcome of anything. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that's how I like it. If I wanted to make decisions, I wouldn't play fucking games.
Yeah,
I
real
ha-
life decisions are made.
What do you want for deciding? What should we do here? I don't care. I make me toast. I just don't want to have to be the
Yeah, I
person
don't feel like
that
toast, but what do you want?
no, I'm not that person. If I like, I
Yeah.
literally don't care. I hate it. And then it's like the weight of the decision, and you don't know the outcome in games. I'm like, I like Katie. Will I kill her if I go with her? Or is it better to like?
Yeah.
Oh,
With
Mass
you, I
Effect
to
was like
relax.
that. Mass Effect was really good. Like that.
I
I
never
actually
played
enjoyed-
Mass
that was
Effect.
really, that's one of the best games I've ever played.
You had to make decisions in
A
it.
lot of them,
No.
little ones that changed the outcome of the whole 3 games. It was so good though.
There are
Red
some,
Dead does that
and I always kill them
every time.
every time. I'm not here to fuck goats. Like I'm
Yeah.
here to kill the people because I don't. If they turn around and they're bad, like I don't care. I'm always
You don't trust anybody.
no one, and it's a game.
It's a great way to live.
No, but it's a game in the end. Why do I
Yeah.
care? Sometimes when people annoy me, I just shoot them in Red Dead. I'm not one of the. And Dan's like, isn't that like bad honor or something? I don't care. I don't care.
I don't want the honor.
I can't shoot people in real life. So,
That's why I
so
do
when
it.
I get the opportunity in a
Yeah.
game, fuck you.
That's why you do it.
I feel so powerful. Anyway.
Yeah, continue.
So yeah, going on with the flesh consumed, it's end game there. That's when the transformation begins, and they say
So
you
it's-
can't come back from that.
So it's kind of like a vampire. As soon as you
They
drink your
say-
first lot of blood,
They
you're
say it's
done.
very similar to vampire
Yeah.
lore and all that, and werewolves, and it's similar
Yeah.
monster sort of. So dreams can be early warning signs of an early spiritual attack, beginning the transformation process. When you dream, it can also come in and try its, gets me in.
Like a little sexy.
Who are you?
It's just a little. Don't mind that tick. It's just my tick.
Just a dick.
So, to seek sacred visions in a dreamlike state, boys will head out into the wilderness once they have reached puberty in search of their powagan. So, the power of, I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's fine.
Powagan, so Pawagan, Powagan, a dream visitor. So, a powagan's a dream visitor. And everyone has a personal one to each their own. Like, everyone has that individual powagan.
Like the monster from that Netflix show, Big Mouth. The sex monster. Or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
the hormone
he's his
monster.
powagan. He just got a
Shit
fucked up one.
Hello.
Yeah, see you next. Or the one where he goes and he jerks, do it. I don't want to do it, do it. And when he finishes, he walks back into the closet going, yeah, good one. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. The monster with the really saggy
Yeah.
horn.
So spirit guardians that bring blessings and power. Powagans were believed to be around an individual at birth, but remain hidden until such a vision is revealed where it will assist the person in reaching their full potential. So be wary of dreaming, though, about porcupines. If one is witnessed and you are offered its meat, you must not consume it, for it is a test and will begin the transformation of a Wendigo because of the porcupine's relationship with the creature. So for some reason, the porcupines are maybe some dude just went to pick it up one day and went bang, spiked, and he's like, "Fucking Wendigo! Nobody eat this thing! Just stomp it out of existence."
I've heard that when you're out and about, you don't kill porcupines because they're known as survivor's food because they're so easy to catch.
So
You're
you're
meant, to,
leaving.
you're meant to leave them so if someone's actually starving to death out there, they can just catch one.
Oh, what a Wendigo trick
could-
that is!
Yeah, I don't know. That's just something
You
else.
can
that
say
you
they're
do?
easy to catch as much as you want, but Chance didn't have that issue, did he? He didn't have any
Poor
luck.
Chance
chance.
got fucked up.
Sassy
Yeah.
couldn't take those quills out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, I remember them pulling them out too. That
Yeah.
was messed up. So, even in the waking world, eating a porcupine can have the same effect. So, there's a story of a porcupine heart being thrown in a cook pot by a man after they had finished eating. So, hey guys, watch this. Like, let's dance with death, and just throws it in there.
Oh, like he knew he
the
wasn't
whole
supposed
group,
to do
yeah,
it.
no one ate it. They're like, this guy's a dickhead. But another hunter arrived
There's always one.
without him telling him they didn't notice and finished the rest in the pot unaware of the heart.
Hey, you guys, John's gonna eat it.
They're like, oh fuck, he did it. What do we do now? This hunter's like, what are you talking about? I have a wife and kids, man. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Well, later that night, the man had turned Wendigo in his tent, eating the man who threw the heart in. So he literally that night, in the same tent as a guy, killed him and started eating him.
Yeah, well, that's called revenge.
It's called revenge. Yeah,
Karma.
it's karma.
Karma,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and the other guys were there. We're going. Well, I guess we learned our lesson.
Yeah.
They're in the other tent, like, we just be real quiet.
Yeah.
Do you think it was the porcupine heart? No. Jokes don't hurt people. Wendigos do. So starvation is usually the cause of going Wendigo, but sometimes it's not necessary. It is said even with plenty of food, a victim can be disgusted by eating normal food such as game and can become delusional in thinking their family and loved ones are no longer human and food for Wendigo tummies.
Oh, so it's literally like the person looking at someone and they just see like a cake.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what it's like.
John?
Yeah. Let me blow those candles out.
Isn't it just like you have people like Jeffrey Dahmer or they're like killers that were cannibalistic even when they didn't have to be? So maybe they just
Yeah.
wanted to eat people.
They get to that stage. They sort of lose all, you look at your mum, husband, whatever his kids, and you're like, I love them. There's a bond or a connection there. It just goes, whoosh, and they just become.
They just
food.
want to eat people.
That's terrifying.
That was for them.
I've heard
not
people.
for him. He's just like, I'm a little confused.
I've heard
and
people
hungry.
are like pork or something. Like it's a similar thing to pork.
What do you mean?
Like what we taste like.
Yeah, like our flesh.
Yeah, they reckon it's not horrible.
Yeah, so maybe they're just like, fuck it, I'll eat ya.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd say he's done it before and he's
yeah.
like,
I'm sick of
doing
salmon.
it again.
I'm gonna eat you.
Too much omega-3 in salmon, so
We'd be quite high in cholesterol though, I'd imagine.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
We wouldn't be good. That's what we'd tell him anyway.
Don't eat me.
I'm more full of chocolate.
Full of chocolate.
Once possessed, the individual will stop eating, grow more and more quiet, becoming non-verbal. While the urge to eat their friends and family grows, some would often ask to be tied up or even killed from fear of killing their loved ones. So they start feeling it coming on. Like
You
they
just
know they're-
leave, wouldn't you? Go eat someone else's loved ones.
Yeah, I think they've done that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a small child from the next village over playing with our kids. We seduced him over here.
Yeah, they're just like, have mean nothing for me. I
Bon
have no
appetit.
relationship.
Oh, is that an upset father over there? You might as well eat him too.
Exactly, no guilt.
Yeah.
if you eat them all.
Bring the village over. So growing large and swelling of the body is another sign from the indigenous people's reports that the reports claim. So the indigenous people would say you would normally notice, especially when they're starving, swelling, like noticeable swelling, like
Yeah.
puffy face, lips, belly, all that sort of stuff. And sounds of popping and cracking can be heard from within the chest, with the heart and spine turning to ice. That was a big thing.
Oh, really?
Turning to ice because they're starting to, they've gone past the hungry stage.
That's super cool.
They're
That is
starting
cool.
to really just like they can hear it. There was stories of like you could actually hear the ice inside people. Like then they'd be sitting there non-verbal, sort of just fucking looking around, and then you hear like.
How in denial are their family? Like, no, he's fine.
That's what. That's what it gets to.
That's
They-
normal. That's just
Yeah.
normal cracking.
They're just like, just concentrate on the fire. He's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the stories of there's also stories when that happens, they do like get rid of it or rid of him or the Wendigo because they know what's happening.
Oh, as in they kill him.
They kill him, whether it's murder or whatever it may be. They're like, we're not. That's Wendigo transformation.
so they can tell it's happening. They're like, we're
yeah,
gonna
because that's the stories. They're like
Yeah.
killing before, but there's obviously other times where they're probably not as onto
give-
it.
It
in
kinda-
tune with that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
maybe it is murder still. We'll just
I
let
was-
him give a little bit of.
I
Yeah.
was about to say, though, it gives me vibes of, when parents are like they kill their own kids or something weird, or they kill their partner, and they're like, he was possessed.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
go a bit
It's
nutty.
100%. This is all like this.
Yeah.
These people are like that, and then once there's a little bit of it further on when civilization catches up in terms of you could say the white men or the people who are starting to come further north, they look upon that as murder.
Oh.
And it's like, but the tribes are like, it's not though. We killed a Wendigo that would have murdered everybody else, or they use that as the Wendigos would use that as an excuse. A person who goes crazy,
Yeah.
I had to eat that person to survive, or like otherwise
can-
I would have died. And
You can imagine the white people getting there and like the main leader, he's just like, this is terrible. Duh, duh, duh. And then like the Native Americans like, Wendigo, he's a Wendigo.
Yeah,
Get him,
he's a
get him.
Yeah.
he's like trying to do his musket. There's 70 of them coming.
I heard about the Wendigo. Those Johnsons moved down there not long ago.
so with the spine and heart freezing, they could hear it. With victims claiming they feel like their heart is becoming frozen, some would even vomit ice.
Wait, so these are stories from people who didn't fully turn into a Wendigo. Like there is some
Or turning, they'd like,
but
know
there
it's
is coming back from. There is some coming back from it.
When you don't, there is further on. I'll let you know,
Okay.
but there is, but once you consume flesh,
Okay.
it's over.
Okay.
Apparently, it's over.
Oh,
so.
dude, I would be done for as a I have no self control.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
But you accept it, so it's fine. You could be like, I'm a Wendigo, guys. What are we going to do about this? I kill you, you kill me. Go our separate ways. There's a village over there. I go that way.
I go that way.
Mum and Dad are like, what is that noise at the door? And it's just me in the front yard, like, don't worry about it. Like, what is she doing? Come here.
Cuddles, mummy.
Mum would just be like, get off my lawn with a gun or something. And Dad would be like, oh, is that because you thought she was a Wendigo? And Mum would be like, yes.
What? Wendigo?
Dad would be like, don't engage. She just wants attention again.
Get the feather duster.
Get the feather dust. Okay, I'm not a Wendigo. I submit.
You want 1 on the hand or 5 on the foot?
I don't want to do any of it. See, Wendigos don't cry. Get inside, woman. So some would, so vomit ice. When they are killed and cut open, they have found that their hearts have been encased in ice, like crystallized in ice.
Imagine them having, everyone's drinking like a scotch or something. They just come up and they're like, they just go like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. They just keep it as like a modern refrigerator.
It's just chained up. Every time you want it, you just go, you got to push in the belly. You know how you do it for like the fridge?
Sarah, we call him Esky.
Eskimo?
Esky, I need a drink. Yes, master. So...
It's the first, they patented that fridge, like where you push it and it comes out, like they've got the rights to it.
So traditionally, hearts were removed and burned to make sure the beast was dead for good. So that was the only way you could kill it. I haven't seen stories of where they do, pop back up and go, "It didn't get me."
Yeah,
but they had to do it to make sure because they're obviously afraid. Obviously, there were stories of that happening, and they were afraid. You had to burn the heart. It was all about the heart, the frozen.
It's
ice.
literally just a vampire story.
Yeah,
like,
They do
it's
say it's
same
very,
folklore.
and the guys who wrote the book with their study said it's very close to the lore in parts.
Werewolves, vampires,
and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless the victim is killed before consuming flesh, the transformation is irreversible. So hot bear grease and animal fat, like your tallow.
How can it be reversible if you're dead?
What do you mean?
Unless you kill them before they
Irreversible.
transform.
No, that's the ones that were killed before they transform, I guess. Because sometimes you can't stop it or you don't have the means to cure it or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So you get them now before they're more powerful, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Or an excuse to kill someone you don't
I
like.
thought it was like, if we don't kill you, you'll never come back from this.
Or like George you like, and you're like, listen, we'll take our chances. Try and kill you before flesh. Tiffany over there, the bitch. Kill her now.
it literally sounds like a case of like when the witches were around. It's just like, that guy's extra smart.
Very,
Let's take him
It's
out.
very similar to that sort of stuff. Like,
My wife's been cheating on me. She's a witch. It's like,
Witch,
but
yeah.
it's that version. But like my wife's a Wendigo. It's like,
Yeah.
Peter, no, I'm not. I love that we're using very Christian names.
yeah.
Like,
They're like, well, she said no. And he's like, Wendigos lie, don't they? And they're like, oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah. You're right.
You're right.
it is
But I'm
their,
not lying. She lied again.
She lied again. Oh my God. She's out of control.
Double Wendigo.
it's their version of the witch and like the modern day, like it's their version of the modern day version of lobotomizing your wife when you're sick of her.
Yeah.
You just
But
confuse someone.
it also just sounds like a tough, like not to take away the magicalness of it, but it just sounds like a tough place to live. Starvation's a constant thing. People, you would go, people just get pushed to the edge and they go kooky and
Yeah, very, very harsh environment.
like
And they-
nothing else left to lose.
Yeah.
People just go nuts.
not a lot of
Like,
sunlight for a lot of the year too.
Yeah,
Like
and it would be terrifying if someone started eating people and killing people and doing some. It's pretty terrifying alone, let alone adding some
this
sort of
lore,
spiritual.
this lore on top of it.
but makes it cooler.
But maybe it's also like a way for them to kind of rationalize
Make it
why a
easier to-
person would do something so
Yeah.
horrific. They're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not them, it's the
and that's
spirit.
what the
in
and that's
them.
what the people colonize. Or the I
Oh, this
use
is
whi- I
me.
use
It's not a
white folk.
phase, mum.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
who I am now.
But that's where they see that as murder and things like that, and the tribe are like, no, that's common. It's he was going to kill a lot of people,
We
and they
love-
usually do. Like it usually is killing someone that's going to kill a lot of people. Like
We
it's-
love to put labels on things.
yeah, yeah. So hot bear grease and animal fat was fed to the individual to prevent ice freezing around the heart. So you can prevent the freezing by the hot liquid
I'd rather.
Was bear fat?
bear fat. it's like hot tallow. It's called hot tallow, which is like your animal fat grease and all that sort of stuff. So
Remember, my name ain't Benjamin Franklin Ellington from the Kentucky Meat Show.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
bear grease through through.
they
my
ate
name
they
ain't.
ate bear.
I
They
know
would
the
eat
sm-
bear because of how scarce everything is. Up
I
there.
know the
Yeah, they
smell
would.
of bear meat like I know the smell of liquor.
She's done that perfectly.
He was drunk.
Yeah.
That dude was the
Always
best.
drunk.
But I found that weird because I listened to a fella on a Joe Rogan show who survived in, was it Alaska or somewhere north? He lived out there and he
Yeah,
had a
Joe
it
William
was really interesting.
Gwelin and Maeve or
Yeah,
something.
but he
yeah.
said you try to avoid eating bears and wolves like carnivores because they carried a parasite
Yes.
because of what they were.
Yeah.
You didn't want to eat them because it could get in your head and kill you.
That's right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like a parasite.
Yeah.
Carnivore. I think it was carnivores.
It lives
carried
in their fur or something like that and goes into their meat or something when
So you have to really cook it. Otherwise, he said he wouldn't do it unless he was starving. So yeah, where were we? Hot bear grease going down your.
Yeah, that was it.
The
sphincter.
dude.
So it's there to unfreeze the heart, try and bring you back from starvation.
Do you reckon it's tasty?
I think so. Like it's like your fat. You know, you think about when you eat something with a bit of fat in it,
Doesn't it just solidify
tasty.
once it cools down in your gut?
as in.
Like, you know how sometimes if
Oh
you eat
yeah,
too
but it's
much
more the
pork belly-
warmth going into your part, like warming you
So you
inside,
could
like
just
having
have
a hot
soup.
copper. Yeah,
Oh, so probably just.
they probably didn't have
soup.
soup back then. Though. The
It's
hot
just
water,
hot water with
bear grease.
Probably. Yeah.
That's their soup
Yeah.
Did you say it like
because
that?
I wanted to. Anyway, so that's to prevent. That's to obviously fill them up with food, so that prevents them from wanting to eat people.
Calories, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to melt the spine and the heart with the heat going in.
That's
We
So
should
they
give
make
some-
it pretty hot.
That is crazy.
We should give some to Mum.
Oh,
What did I miss it? You
Yeah.
saying she's a Wendigo?
Melt her heart.
no,
Oh, I love my mum.
I'm going to cut that part out. I'm going to
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing
Drag
it
on the
together
rest
so
of
Josh
us.
goes, I agree with you, Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum has quite high.
yeah. Had your mouth on
The mouth keeps moving after I say it.
Josh, that's terrible. Why would you say that? I don't care. It's about time she knows.
It's like one of those movies where you can like
You paid a
the
Chinese
foreign
fella.
ones.
You paid a
Yeah.
Chinese fella to do a voiceover.
It's the Homer Simpson with the babysitter when they edit him together when she's getting out of the car for the
Oh,
gummy. And he's
yeah.
just like, oh, so sweet. Grabbing at her ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to do you so dirty.
I'm gonna call her when we finish before you can edit it.
I could edit. You could say it and she'll be like, I never believed Josh would do something like that to me
Yeah.
Just ring her
anyway.
up. It wasn't me. Hang up.
Or you would tell her, no, I did say that. She'd be like, I do not believe it, Josh. You don't have to make Bree look good.
She made you do it.
She's a witch
She has a gun to your head under the desk.
under the desk.
Yeah, about there.
The head of your penis, I meant.
I'll say whatever you want.
It's like a very little gun.
Blows a hole on the crotch.
Finally, I
that
can
comes down the
weave.
wrist.
it's a little pebble shooter. It's gone.
What's that movie off the one where he has like the little gun that sits in there and he just goes, and
I think it's Django.
yes, Django, and he kills him that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going, Django, you're
Or the
dick.
paperweight one off
Oh, the
Gentleman?
Gentleman.
Yeah.
If a village has a local shaman, he can conjure out the spirit with his magical fingers. That was the thing. Like shamans can just do the video we just
Spirit
watched.
fingers.
You know the video with the knife wielding the
Yeah.
knife and but and actually, I think it actually just like
Scares them.
scares them so much they get that boost of like, oh, I'm back. Oh, I need to eat some normal food.
Call that the heart
Just 'cause-
starter.
Or they actually have like magical properties or something.
Well, they're actually magical.
Yeah.
Shamans and conjurers are said to protect villages with their spiritual powers where they would battle approaching Wendigo. So Wendigo's approaching a village. So this would happen. There'd be proper like whether you get into the whole Wendigo side of it or not, there'd be cannibals, fucked up people coming towards a village to eat
Yeah.
more people that
Is there some
they
sort
didn't
of
know.
physical
yes.
identifier so
Yeah.
that you can so
Yeah.
they're
Like
just
it comes it's not far off it.
okay.
Yeah, there is like
And
things
that's how
to
they
look
know
for.
they
yeah.
can tell
so
they're
cool. Like a bunch of cannibals are coming in and the shaman's just like,
I got this.
I got
and his
this.
cape's blowing.
yeah.
There was a lot of things like that. I think we even talked about it with. Remember ages ago we did an episode on like disturbing digs,
Mm.
and there was one. It was like the Paiutes, I think, in Mercer Valley, Mercer Verde rather, in Colorado. There are tribes that are exclusively cannibalistic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well-
they would be dealing with a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just imagine two guys rocking up just real slow and they just know that's not right. And you start to see the telltale signs of a Wendigo. And they're
Just
like,
imagine it.
shaman!
Get the shaman.
He's like, fuck, I gotta pretend again.
I just remember them with like. I feel like I see it, and it's just like you just see these people coming towards you, and it's like very obviously like something that's 8 foot tall, but it's in like a dress and a bonnet with like glowing reflective eyes. Like, hello, do you have any room in there for a little old lady? Like, it's just like
Checks out.
they're like, we don't know. We think it's a Wendigo. Wouldn't it be awful if I wasn't, and then you left me out in the cold? So, like just appealing to their better nature.
But the Wendigo, the shamans would step up and with spiritual powers, they would battle the approaching Wendigo. So they'd take them on. There can be hurt with the battle. You could hear them going on with like booming and banging, like big sounds, like a big power
Like Harry
battle
Potter.
going on. Yeah, like because
Wands
most
and
people
shit.
have run obviously and they're hiding or whatever, and they can just hear like the battle
commotion
going on. So I reckon he's got
going
like a pot going bang 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 as he's just like stabbing them normally. Bang bang bang. That's what I reckon was happening.
Why are we like you're shitting on it already? You
I
know
thought
what I mean?
this part, the shaman magical power part. But that was the story. Was like they could just hear explosions. Boom. Like there was magical powers going back and forth as he fought these two. Like it's a cool sort of it's cool.
Remember South Park?
We found the psychics as they come out. He goes, "You'll never take me." He goes, and the cop's like, actually shooting. All he's doing is like, that's such a good saying.
Yeah.
Well, they're coming out now. The cop's just like riddling. He's it's like just a dude. No weapons or anything. Just pretending he's got psychic powers and they freak out. They riddle him with bullets. Oh, shit. So the old one thing I'll mention too, without sounding sexist, was how the boys would go out and get their power guns. So the girls never done that because
they got handed a sponge.
because they were too busy making the sandwiches for the hungry guys who would come back.
I don't think they baked bread.
No, but apparently they were more powerful in a way because theirs stayed hidden a bit longer because they were more powerful. And there's stories of men being out. I forget what they were doing, but they were out doing hunting for game, whatever, and then they heard the howls and the squeals of a Wendigo back at the village, and they're like, fuck, because they left all the women and children behind, so they'd run back. And when they got there, as walking into the village, there was like tents thrown around, canoes flipped over, like a big scuffle happened. And
like a bear came in.
Like something just started tearing everything apart, and they found, I think it was 1 or 2 dead Wendigos, and the wives were just sitting there cradling, like nursing their babies and that after a big battle. So that's when their power guns come out. Their spirits come out when when really needed. And they're like apparently they just fucked Wendigos.
So the guy's just like flaunting theirs about.
Yeah, like we went Gutman and they got like a level 2 Pidgey. And these girls have got like...
Yeah, the women were just like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like there probably wasn't really like back in the day, a space for sexism because you kind of needed all hands.
This is what it was, yeah.
But you kind of needed all hands on deck. So there wasn't I can understand in terms of like, especially when it comes to like having babies and breastfeeding, it's like obviously you can't be going out and doing that because you're needed here to do this sort of thing.
It's 100% all.
But like outside of that, you would still just have to be just as skilled in battle and everything else.
But even like strength genetically, the guys had to try and kill the fucking bigger animals and that. So they would have been look obviously nursing the kids like you said. So they can't just be like no more feeding for you while I go and try and kill.
But
her.
I think like if they didn't have the kids or whatever and there was a battle, like you got to participate too, so you got to know how to handle you got to know how to handle yourself.
There's no like inner debates about anything. It's just like this is how it is, and
there's no women can't go to war.
Yeah, so they done that. They never done what the boys done, but they had it there all along as well. It only come out in moments when it was really necessary. Maybe because it was too powerful. It's like we can't just give everybody a fucking machine gun. We have to have muskets.
The guys saw the women's one. They're like, you're not allowed to do that.
That's how sexism started.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Like, yours can't be bigger than mine, so we're going to suppress you now.
So you're not allowed to vote anymore?
The only thing that could kill a Wendigo is a Wendigo. So the older a Wendigo is, the larger it becomes, turning into giants of the forest with hearts of ice, pulling trees out of the ground, launching them, leaving destruction wherever they roamed. Lanky, skinny, and sickly looking, with their skin dripping over the bodies in a constant state of starvation. So they're always hungry.
Yeah.
That's why they're always eating, always trying to find people to kill.
The photos I've seen, they're always creepy.
It's creepy.
Like skinny.
But the scary thing is, though being so thin and weak looking, they are very powerful, making them even more supernaturally terrifying because you look at it and think like it's not well. Creepy.
People are like body shaming it.
Yeah, creepy but not creepy but not well, but you're like, I'll throw down on this.
I can take him.
And it throws you 400 meters. That's what was so scary about it. And it's so powerful.
Do you think it started entering the camp and then one of the the people ran into a TP and opened it and went, they've bought a cave troll.
Harry Potter, I get it.
No, it was
Harry
Lord
Potter,
of the Rings.
I was too.
Isn't it?
It's
It's
a cave troll.
Boromir.
Boromir,
He
yeah.
turns to him and goes,
They
they've got
got
a
a
cave troll.
Yeah.
It hits an arrow, hits the door. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, they've got a cave troll.
I've seen so many like memes on that thing, and then the cave troll they put a head on whoever they don't like. It's like, like a politician or whatever coming. Yeah,
God bless me.
yeah. So sights of them sweating blood and their long, sharp, toothy smiles from their lips being gnawed on because the starvation would put fear into any observer. So a lot of talk was like they had no lips at all. You see all their gums and teeth.
That's my favourite kind of
because they were so
monster.
hungry and starved. Like,
Oh.
they would just on their way they just eat their.
Plus, like, if you think about someone being, like, snow blown or whatever they call it, like,
Yeah,
your lips,
dried off.
everything is the
Blisters
first. Yeah, it's
and all
the
that.
first
And then
to go.
bleeding, and they're probably starving. So they're like, and they actually start gnawing at it. Like people would just start eating.
Literal,
Eating on
like, the
themselves.
crackheads. Sort
Yeah,
of.
Did you hear that's how they used to hunt wolves? The Inuit people? They would go and stick a knife in the ground, put blood on it, and the wolf would come and lick it. Like lick the blood, and then it would start bleeding. But then it's licking its own blood, and it doesn't notice, and then just dies from blood loss.
That's so smart.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
Work smarter, not
Far
harder.
out.
Hey,
Sorry,
like,
that just reminded me of the
that's such,
blood in the mouth.
that's such a
fucked up.
good way to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. Imagine watching that wolf going, ooh, I can't look.
This
really so hurts, hungry.
but it's tasty.
Yeah. Well, they got a trick, man.
Could you,
Spicy.
It's not going to shit well tomorrow. And you was like, you ain't shitting tomorrow.
but it's
You won't
pretty-
be here. Look, man. I don't know sometimes.
sometimes.
Who thought of that, though? The fucking messed up guy in the tribe.
Yeah.
Why don't we like put a knife in the ground, a bit of blood, and let it lick itself to death? This guy's so weird. No one else laughed. They're like, we're taking him seriously.
And then everyone else is starving and he's
Honestly-
like killing wolves.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably either someone really smart that had the idea and was like, let's try this, or they had a knife with blood on it and a wolf
Yeah.
did it, and
Yeah,
then it happened and
yeah.
they were like, hang on a minute.
This is working.
Yeah.
I come up with this before I did it.
And then they go back to camp and they tell some story about how they fought it with my bare hands.
My bare hands. Jimmy, you ain't got no hands. Oh, God. That's
Next
what
thing
I
he's
ate
getting
my
dragged
fingers.
out through the savannah.
But yeah,
Head
so
over.
that was the most common description of them was their droopy skin,
Yeah.
very skinny,
Skinny,
bony, and the
like
no
malnourished
lips, no
and-
lips, so you could always see their teeth and fangs and
Oh,
shit.
that is creepy.
And like no hair and all patchy hair and just like a fucked up sort of hungry
Yeah.
gremlin looking thing. So the screams and wails of the Wendigo can be heard from miles away, carried on the wind. So imagine hearing like that banshee sort of wail on its way. There have
Probably
been
a fox.
yeah.
No, have you ever heard the fox's
I've heard them next door to
screams?
me when I used to live out at the retreat. Holy shit.
I rang Dad because I was outside. I don't know,
It's
locking
Dad.
the cars or something. It wasn't, but I rang. You know when you're having one of those moments where you're like, it's happening.
Yeah.
This is the movie where it happens. This is where it starts, where you're outside and you hear it and you're like, I'm gonna ignore that. And it was so awful. Like it just made me. It makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah.
I rang Dad. I'm like, can you hear that? And he went out in the rain and went, oh, it's just a fox calling. And I was just like, that's unnatural.
Foxes and
Yeah.
koalas, man. Koalas are like, and it's
they
like
growl.
holy shit.
Have you heard of bobcat?
They scream too.
Sounds like a woman getting murdered,
It's
hey?
the scream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bobcat, the scream was often like when you talk to Bigfoot hunters or whatever, they're just like, see, it's a Bigfoot scream. It's like, that's just a bobcat or a
Yeah.
mountain lion or whatever.
Yeah.
So the screams, there've been tales of the screams that could paralyze its victims. Like they were that scary and loud, it would actually paralyze the victims, rendering some unconscious, unable to flee or call for help.
So you're fucked. Like you don't hear it and you're
Whether
like, oh,
it's
I'm going
fear
to
or
run.
whatever, yeah, you just sort of, you
screwed.
can't, like when you're
Probably
asleep.
just paralyzed by fear. Like
I'd
you're
say
just
so,
so
yeah.
scared.
Yeah, or just such a loud including the loud piercing sound in your head, you sort of just, your body just goes into confusion and
Well,
and the
fight or
fear.
Yeah.
flight. Sort
Yeah,
of
it's
thing.
sort of just like a faint and go, yeah.
So the goats.
So owls are viewed as suspicious, for a Wendigo can shapeshift into animals, particularly the owl, always watching. So a little bit of shapeshifting
Always
going on,
watching, Mark.
skinwalkers.
And they are
Nasty.
creepy how they just sit there. Just like,
I turn that fucking head that doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
Like, whoop, whoop, it's like, Wendigo?
And they're always like telling you where to go next and like maybe try Lake Hylia.
I was thinking that. I was like, it's definitely a Zelda thing. Hey.
So now I know a few of the stories. So the Greater Slave Lake Wabasca region in North Alberta, Canada, has a heap of Wendigo stories. It's sort of like the birthplace. Well, not so much the birthplace,
Like a
but like
hotspot.
around the hot spot for
Yeah.
a lot of
That
the shit happening.
That was where that dude Alex, whatever, where he was canoeing. He canoed through that. That book I gave you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that lake
Where he got attacked
area.
by the bear there.
Yeah.
Yes,
that-
a
What was
bear.
the lake called?
It was called Lake Wabasca.
It's like one of those really big lakes
Yeah.
that freeze and everything as well,
Yeah, okay.
and have their own like islands within the lake.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's the greatest slave lake, Wabasca.
Well, just so you know, the video we did with the dog man, some dude commented on it, and I did laugh. He
About
was-
the lakes, yeah, we
yeah, and
didn't.
he's just like, no, it's like a proper lake.
There
Like,
are proper lakes
laughed
here,
at
it's
when
like-
he said no, like a proper lake.
Yeah.
I was like, please forgive us.
Yeah. I don't even think we're taking the piss
I
out
was like,
of
we
it.
don't have lakes like that in Australia.
People
So-
will find anything to get offended about.
Yeah.
He wasn't offended. He thought it was funny that we were like Josh was like a proper lake.
Like a puddle?
Yeah.
Well, there's like a shit ton of lakes up there.
A shit ton.
Yeah.
What's a shit ton?
Probably like 10,000.
Like
Oh my God, yeah.
like a lake feeds into another lake that feeds into another lake.
Well, I
that-
think the greatest slave lake, there's like a smaller slave lake off the side. There's like a heaps of, there's heaps
Yeah.
of sort of. But an article in the Glenborough Gazette on May 8th, 1896, with the headline, "A Wendigo Murdered by His Companions for Their Own Safety," goes, I had to breathe in, told a story of a man who
we
killed the
could
previous...
see how we could tell because of the inhale.
Yeah, I had to tell you
Sorry.
that story. Now I lost a lot of that oxygen explaining how I had to bring it
Sorry,
in.
go
Have
again.
you been holding your breath like using that one breath since the start of the podcast?
Now... Why is my eyes going funny?
Josh just falls off his chair.
yeah.
The brain's like, I need oxygen. I don't speak, brain. So told a story of a man killed the previous winter in Trout Lake. So Trout Lake's very familiar too. Is it like
Trout Lake was from Night of the Grizzlies.
or
That
is it
was
just
where
a common name?
yes, that was where.
Actually, no, the Night of the Grizzlies, yeah.
but
That
it is
wouldn't be-
also a very common name.
Yeah.
because like there are trout
Yeah.
in lake,
Yeah.
and so we're,
Here is
Very
what?
original. Very original.
what are we gonna call this lake, son? I saw a trout. Excellent.
I feel there's a lot of lakes called that, but I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how we've got Newcastle or like the New England Highway or just like fucking. Oh, we're gonna come from a whole other country and try and make this country just like that country.
Yeah.
Let's name it New Everything.
Copy
like,
paste.
fucking come up with another name, bro. That's half the fun, right?
That's a boring name, Dad. Yeah, well, I'm not your dad's son. Just drops the mic and walks off, you adopted piece of shit.
What?
Oh, just the name.
That's when he killed his dad and said, "No, he's a Wendigo."
He's a Wendigo, and I killed him on Trout Lake. So the chap who died went by the name of Napinen. So Napinen, 35 years of age, and was described as an intelligent man who provided well for his wife and kids. So he's fine.
That's all that matters.
It's fine.
Alpha.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tall
So
was he?
tall enough to
Roughly.
be a high
How
value.
tall? How tall do you think he was?
I reckon he would have been under 6 foot.
Beta.
No, actually, no, he would have been over because Wendigos are alphas.
Alpha.
It's all the switching that done his head and he killed himself. So Napinen was joined by his wife and children as he set out to visit his father in Trout Lake. On the second night into the long journey from Wabasca to Trout Lake, Napinen's wife said he acted strangely, saying that some strange animals were about to attack him. So he was telling them 2 nights in.
This is just schizophrenia.
Yeah, yeah. So she was so scared though of the way he was acting, of what the animals were. She actually asked him to press on ahead of them. Can you just go a little away from us?
So what
Can you
we're
go
gonna-
check it out?
Yeah.
Is that basically what she's saying?
No, she's just
She
saying
just
don't
didn't
be
want
near
him-
us.
yeah.
If there's strange shit coming for you, or he's going a bit, whether she was afraid of him or the animals that were coming, she's like, just
Remember
Little bit-
himself, son. Go.
a little bit that way.
So she just didn't want to be around him.
Didn't want to be around him. Or what you, instead of just going, are you right, honey? Do you need me to do anything? It's like, just
Walk a little ahead.
look a little ahead, just in
Yeah.
case something does happen. So they eventually reached Trout Lake, where Napanion's conditions got way worse. That's not a real. I meant to edit that.
What?
Way worse. You can't say way worse.
You can.
It sounds childish. Oh, wait,
it
I am.
doesn't.
It's fine. I
It
just
sounds
had a
it
verb-
sounds relatable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Way worse. Everyone understands that. Like sometimes you have words like alliteration. Not
Bullshit.
everyone gets it, which makes it hard to relate to.
It was fine until he started to describe it.
Can we go back to the past?
I didn't see it, and then you went, "It's childish." And I went, "Yeah, that was
It
childish."
is shy. You know what? He's right. Burn him.
It's not childish. It's just
It's
simple.
not.
It's simple
Yeah.
language, which is fine. You don't have to say where he's
Which is
where-
all we expect.
where his condition deteriorated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What a bitch! She thinks she's so clever.
So fits of insanity that become more frequent and violent lasted for 20 days. It wasn't just his mental state spinning out of control. He also had physical symptoms such as noticeable swelling and lips puffed out. So he started actually blowing
But
up.
and he was like, he never had issues with anything
No,
before.
like
this
he said,
trip.
he was an intelligent man.
Yeah.
He was good to his bubbas and his mamas.
Beta.
So he's funny, yeah, but a healthy one.
Yeah.
He would tell his friends in rare moments of normality. So when he was like actually a little
Lucid.
sane, lucid, that he did not want to hurt or kill anybody, and they had better kill him. So he would tell them,
Oh,
like,
so he's
shit's-
like, I know what's going on.
he said it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to
Kill
look at
me.
you as like, he's a delicious.
Starting to look like a snack.
Yeah.
Looking like a little chicken leg over
Come
there.
here, sit on Daddy's lap, I'll tell you a story. And pulls the hand out and starts to nibble on the kid's finger. Daddy, what are you doing? The story goes like this.
You got tired of
I don't like your stories. So the decision to kill him was made by his wife and neighbour. She's like, yeah, it's about time.
And his
Sounds
neighbor,
horrible.
his neighbor, who the wife has been getting guitar lessons
Yeah.
from.
yeah. Banjo more like it up there. So
Oh, they're natives, aren't they? Like these
Yeah.
are First Nations people.
They sound like it.
yeah, so 4 men tried tying him up, but he kept escaping. So he was like. It's like they become it's like the greased up deaf guy. But he could like that's a lot of story goes a lot about victims where they try and tie them up for either trial or cap just to hold them down. They escape a lot. I just don't think the
Slippery
First Nation people knew how to tie
little
knots. They're like, this will do just one.
Just put it
Double
around.
knot, motherfucker, he's running.
I feel like if anything though, that says a lot in terms of like, fuck yeah, they would know how to tie knots and they would have him tied up so good, and then all of a sudden he's out of it.
Well,
Do you know what I
There's
mean?
a lot of stories like that though. They always escape their like just trickery, like whether
Yeah.
it's So 4 men tried tying him up and he kept escaping. So he was then struck by 4 axe blows to the head.
That will
Escape
slow
that
him down.
motherfucker. You're tied up now.
Yeah.
The body of the Wendigo was then burnt to prevent it from rising again.
Oh wait, so now he's not him anymore. He's just the Wendigo.
Yeah, because he got to a state where he was like wanting to eat people and wanting to do
Probably just
shit
need
to
to do
them.
antibiotics or something.
Like, kill me.
Like,
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm going to kill someone.
yeah,
They tie him up. And
then
then he
it-
escapes and they're like,
Yeah.
you're not going to fucking escape.
yeah.
And they come and smack him on the head.
Yeah. So it wasn't just that. It was think of what he was saying, his mental condition, and how he would have looked.
Yeah.
Like he was. They said his description was
he's-
puffing up.
I'm just
looking
thinking like
"Hey."
the no lips and
yeah,
all that
no,
sort
live.
of
He was
stuff.
getting that way, and
They tried their best, and then they got to a
Yeah.
point where they were like, it has to happen.
Should we
Yeah.
tie him up a second time? No, he's had his chance.
yeah.
You can hear him giggling.
Time for the
running
axe.
around.
He's like, did it again, did it again.
I'm
So-
out again. Like, I have to go lasso him. And he's running away.
And that's him and it just comes loose straight away.
Like, he's like running. He falls over and gets back up again.
They pull an axe. It's like, hey,
Smack.
no, look, smack, look, you got me. So the next one's pretty messed up. So this is a bigger one. This is the story of Swift Runner. So
That's a sick name.
it is a sick name
Wouldn't
because
you
his
be-
actual name's
I
pretty
feel like a
hard
lot
to
of
pronounce.
Native Americans have like their names are like pretty sick, but you could get
Cool
like a-
names, but if you call
You
someone
could
here
get a
Swift Runner, they
bad
get picked
one.
on though.
Why?
It has to be like you can't call someone here Swift Runner. Hey,
mean
Swift
like a
Runner, what's
white
up?
person?
Imagine that at a pub. Hey, it's Swift Runner.
that's
They
what I
want to be
mean.
like,
I'm going to buy that guy a beer.
pick that guy up for some reason. My hands are just.
No, indigenous people get like sick names like
Yeah,
that.
they
but,
do, yeah.
But what I'm getting at is not all of like some of them get like, you know, like floating eagle, like something cool like that, and then others are like dirty water. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like some you get real lucky,
Yeah.
and then others it's just like
There's jellyfish who can't swim.
Two dogs.
Two dogs, exactly, like the two dogs.
So at the age of 40, a man named Kaki Sikuchin, aka Swift Runner,
That's sick.
was a Cree
No wonder
Indian.
he's gone
Well,
by
his
Swift
actual
Runner.
name's pretty fucking cool though. Like,
Yeah, but that's what it would translate to, wouldn't it? Like that would be
yeah, I think
that
so.
would just be his
Yeah.
own language. How you say Swift Runner.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I get fat shit.
I
Like,
get
you
fat
know what I mean? That's what Mum would have named me. We've got lanky long.
That's actually kind of cool. Hey, it's Linky Long.
You're lanky long. Yours is
For beach runner.
no, yours would be barefoot runner or some shit like that.
All fours.
And that's my daughter, fat shit.
Lanky Long, all fours, and
Lanky long, all fours and fat shit.
shut up. So he was a Cree Indian who lived in Athabasca region of Alberta, Canada. He was the father of a large family where he had a wife and 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls.
Alpha
Yeah, mate, 6 kids. 50-50 too.
was the first
pretty-
born a boy.
I think so. The oldest was a
Alpha.
boy. Yeah. So the year was 1878. Food was becoming scarce. So Swift Runner and his family, with his family, and in addition, his mother and brother, headed to his winter trapping grounds. It started off well with Mr. Runner killing enough animals to keep him kicking.
Mr. Runner.
I thought that
Mr.
was
Runner.
really cute too.
I added that to it, trying to just do weird shit and change
His last name's not Runner. His first name is Swift Runner.
Mr. Kichichi.
It is hard though. Him.
Him.
Swift Runner, the man.
Just Mr. Runner.
Okay,
Let's make it more.
Right,
Let's
yeah.
make this more professional.
We're all gentlemen.
Mr. Runner was in charge. So as winter went on, it got much, much worse. Game was nowhere to be found, and they had to be on the move more as starvation was becoming a very real scenario. So fast forward a few months into the spring of 1879, Swift Runner alone, like by himself, turned up at a church telling a story of how his whole family died of starvation. As his story didn't quite add up, the mounted police were called in to head back out and observe the corpses of his family and identify what actually happened.
What year was this again?
1878, I think.
Sorry? Okay, so not
1878.
Like,
so
yeah,
this is
not
where
hella
people
early.
are starting to catch up a bit. It's not hell early, but it's
Well,
early
you got
enough.
mounted police.
It's early enough though, like before.
It's colonized.
It's becoming that way. They're getting further and further north. So, but the story when he rocked up with nobody, what he told them didn't add up to what, and it's starting to get into that scenario of like shit happens to there's law.
Yeah.
It's starting to collide at that age, in that time. So shackled like a convict, Swift Runner was forced to lead the police back to his winter camp. He managed to lead them in circles. He didn't want to take him back to where he was. So he led him in circles, and the only way they were able to locate the camp was getting him drunk because he was like taking them nowhere.
really?
But they knew he liked tobacco. I think it was tobacco and alcohol.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's have a bit of this.
Yeah.
And he apparently just smashed it. Got
It's just around the campfire having a good time.
yeah.
So, Swift Runner, how about your family?
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
yeah, I remember that.
They were tested.
Yeah, exactly.
After finding the so Locamp was getting him drunk. So they got him drunk, and he finally was like, gave him the directions on the way there. So after finding the remains, it was obvious that Swift Runner had done the dirty on his fam. So they found most of it,
Yeah.
the majority of his family. So bones snapped and marrow sucked out, along with the
Oh.
kettles holding bald remains of uneaten flesh. Runner casually walked over and picked up his wife's skull by putting his fingers through her eye sockets and like being like, "This was my wife." And there's different stories in different magazines saying things like he'd done it and said, "This is my mother."
It's like he's going bowling.
Yeah, that's what but they said he was just casual as shit. Like he was just like, "This was my wife." And yeah. So an article in February 9th, 1880 edition of this Saskatchewan One Herald was written by a Reverend Father, just so many words in here, Hippolyte Leduc, a French Catholic missionary based in St. Albert who was looking after Swift in his final days. This was the alleged confession Swift Runner gave Father Leduc. So before...
Is it Leduc? Ledoux?
Leduc? Oh, it's not a K, so Leduc. Leduc.
Leduc.
Yeah. So we were camped, and this is what Swift Runner said, and what the priest dragged out of him.
Yeah.
So we were camped in the woods about 80 miles from here, so where he is now, back at the church or the bit of civilization. He said, in the beginning of winter, we had not much to suffer. I killed many moose and 5 or 6 bears. So they obviously hunted bears now.
Dude, that would keep you full the whole winter.
I thought
though.
the same thing too. But it's months. Like they were out there for. It wasn't just like
A bear would keep you full.
that's what
for
old buddy
months,
said too.
yeah.
He'd kill a moose and it would last him
Yeah.
the winter or something
Yeah.
like that. But there was like 12 of them or 10. No, sorry, there was what 6. There's like 9 of them.
That
Yeah.
much food though that you just said would keep those people fed.
I would imagine so. Was what I thought.
I think
yeah,
this
until
guy's
spring.
just a liar.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it comes down to.
It would keep you full enough to not eat other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but apparently he didn't because he motivated all the fat piece of shit. So I killed it's a lot of bears, but about the middle of February, I fell sick. So he got sick. And to complete our misfortune, those with me could find nothing to shoot. So they couldn't find anything to eat or kill. So we had to soon kill our dogs and lived on their flesh while it lasted. So I'm the same as you. I'm thinking
Son of a
the dogs
bitch.
aren't going to last long if the bloody bear and moose didn't.
Yeah.
But having recovered a little from my sickness, I travelled to a post of the Hudson Bay Company on the Athabasca River and was assisted by the officer in charge and returned to my camp with a small amount of provisions. That did not last us long. Well, probably seconds if the bears didn't.
Yeah.
So we all, that is my mother, wife, and 6 children besides my brother and I, began to feel the pangs of hunger. That sentence doesn't make sense. I probably wrote that wrong.
What? How does that not make sense?
Also, everyone felt hunger
Yeah.
except him and his brother. Yeah. So my brother made up his mind to start with my mother in search for. I thought when
I'd
I was
start
reading
eating
it,
her,
Yeah.
when I was reading, I was like, that's okay, but the obvious one. So my brother made up his mind to start with my mother in search of some game.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. It's just daycare.
Yeah, you better call. Better answer that. So yeah, so the brother and mother have gone off in search of game. I remained alone with my family. Starvation became worse and worse. For many days, we had nothing to eat. I advised my wife to start with the children and follow on the snow tracks of my mother and brother.
Oh, I thought
That's
you
a
meant
bit
start
like-
eating the
yeah.
children.
Yeah, that same thing again. I'm reading it going, someone's going to eat someone soon, surely. But that's weird though. Wife, kids, just follow the tracks. Like this is days later. Just follow the tracks.
It had been snowing, I guess, or
It-
windy.
I think it was
anything.
more for.
Is he still sick?
No, he's gotten better, but I think it's more for he can maintain himself,
Oh, okay.
but not everybody. So go and try and find them to see if they got more food because I can't kill enough to maintain a family of 8 or.
So yeah, get the wife to take the fucking 6 kids with her, and he's like, I just stay here and play PlayStation.
I just look after myself.
Yeah, I just turn into a Wendigo.
Yeah.
So, so they've taken off. So perhaps if they had been lucky enough to kill a moose or bear since they left, that's what he was hoping for. They've gotten something big. Go eat. I can maintain myself. So for my part though, weak. So he's still weak. I hoped that remaining alone, I could support my life with my gun. All my family left me with the expectation of exception of a little boy, 10 years of age, who obstinately refused to leave me. So this kid wouldn't leave me. I'm on to you, Dad.
So
Yeah.
I feel like the Reverend at this time was like, tell me more about this little boy.
Yeah, so 10. 10.
Drooling.
10's getting a bit up there. But I'll make do in these parts.
Wait, I don't think they were Catholic. Probably not.
So it's fine.
I
Is that what you're
get,
saying?
oh, I don't know. I think Catholicism is where it runs rampant, though. I think everywhere's pretty bad when it comes to religion. It just depends.
Especially here.
Anything organized, you know?
Yeah,
Anything like a cult.
we shouldn't be afraid of the Wendigo. The guy telling stories with one was like, wait a minute, it was you. So I remained many days with my boy without finding any game and consequently without having a mouthful to eat. One morning I got up early. Suddenly an indomitable thought crossed my mind. My son was lying down close to the fire, fast asleep. Pushed by the evil spirit. So he's starting to go because the hunger's setting in, the cold. He said, pushed by an evil spirit, I took my gun and pointed it at the poor innocent while turning my head away and I shot him.
Do you think maybe this evil spirit they talk about is just like an intrusive thought?
Yes.
That's what it
they've
is.
let- yeah.
You've been pushed to a lot where everybody has boundaries, I reckon, that move depending on how you are.
Yeah, so it's just an intrusive thought that he's succumbed to, really.
like
He's
the
just I could
terror
do
where
that,
they
and
had
then
to
just
start
does it.
eating
Yeah.
people. Like you look at that and go, that's fucked up, but you're not there.
Yeah.
You're not starving or dying. Same as those guys. I listened to a really good podcast on the
Andes?
Andes
Yeah.
where they were like, it's not called cannibalism, it's called orthodox. Some weird
I have a
name.
Netflix show on it at the
Yeah,
moment.
there's some weird name where you've done it to survive. No one wanted to.
Yeah.
Everyone was in agreement, so it's the only way they could survive. So it's not cannibalism.
I feel
it's,
like that was also not just the survival aspect of that, but they were already dead.
they're already dead
You
too.
know what
No
I
one
mean?
killed
So it's
anyone to
kinda like,
eat them. Yeah, you're right.
Whereas not one, not.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have bodies here for him. That
Yeah.
fell over
He's got to
plane,
make
so-
it happen.
I'm making excuses for him already. He didn't have the bodies. He wasn't lucky enough to have dead family members around him. So he had to make his
He had
own
to
luck.
create his own luck.
So he shot him. The ball entered the top of his skull. Still he breathed. I began to cry, but what was the use? Impossible now to recall him to life. So he's sort of done it after this one big, like, do it.
Yeah.
He's done it, and then his kid's still alive, and he's like, what have I done?
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like,
Ah, fuck it.
I can't fix it.
Yeah.
So he did, like, it's like he snapped back and went, shit, what have I done? I need to, and he's like, oh, well, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
So, impossible in a recalling of life, I then took my knife and sunk it twice into his side. Alas, he still breathed.
This kid
Is the
just
kid
won't
the
die.
Wendigo?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, he still breathed, and I picked up a stick and killed him with it. So he had to beat him to death with a stick in the end.
But he has a
To finish
knife.
But he has a
Son.
knife, yeah. Kind of
I don't
going
know.
backwards,
I
aren't
don't
we?
know, man. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Should have started with a stick. I mean, shouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah. But if you had to.
But if you had to, start with a stick, finish with a gun. I then satisfied my hunger by eating some of his flesh and lived on it for some days, extracting even the marrow from the bones.
Yeah, I love how that tiny boy kept him alive for how many days, and he killed like 24 bears and 68 moose, but they were gone for him to
Forgot
eat.
about the bears. They're in a pile over. He's like, fuck.
It
The
looked
snow
at me
just-
funny. It's like,
The snow just briefly covered them. He's like, "That's not a hill. That's all the game I've made this
I'm
whole
not digging
winter."
that
I
out.
don't like the taste of bear.
Some days afterwards, in wandering
He's
through
just
the woods,
picky.
tastes funny. So some days afterwards, in wandering through the woods, unfortunately, I met my wife and children. So he's even like, he knows he's already starting to change. Like he's like, unfortunately,
But his wife's name was Five Horses.
5 horses.
Nag, nag, nag,
Nag,
nag,
nag,
nag.
nag. She's back again.
That's what he said. Unfortunately, I met my wife 5 horses.
Well, he said to them that my son had died of starvation, but I remarked immediately that they suspected the frightful reality. So he said, like, he told him he died of starvation, but he could tell. They're like, he's like, no food.
He just reminds
Well,
me.
he's got a big fat belly.
He just reminds me of like a Will Ferrell movie. Like he'd just rock up and he'd just be looking around and be like, "Yeah. So the boy, he died of starvation. Not much you can do about that. Yeah. So anyway, how you guys going here? Like, just
You ever heard of
playing
what
it down.
happens when you don't eat? Yeah.
Yeah,
Happened to our son.
something like that. Just
So-
like casually remarked it.
Yes. So they then told me that they had not seen either my mother or brother. No doubt both have died of starvation, otherwise they would have been heard of, as it is now 7 months since then. So
Can
it's a
you-
long
no.
time. It's a long...
Can you imagine the brother though and the mother being like, "I ain't fucking responsible for these kids.
Yeah.
Let's just do our own thing." Like just wandered
They
off.
start walking faster.
Yeah.
The little ones will slow them down.
They're catching us.
They're catching us. 3 days after joining my family, the oldest of my boys died. So the oldest died. We dug a grave with an axe and buried him. Imagine that burying him is just like, fuck, should we be burying him? Maybe we should eat him.
I don't know.
Start trying
So
to
he-
explain with
Yeah,
them
but he
all.
had to like pretend
And
like,
his wife's like, "Swift runner." He's like, "No, I didn't mean it like that. I was like, no. You're hearing me." He's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't say like that. All I meant was like, this kind of seems like a way. Swift runner. No. Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
yeah.
Keep going. Don't
What
worry
I
about
meant
me."
was it's
Yeah.
either him or you. For now. You later. So we were then reduced to boil some pieces of our leather tent, our shoes, and buffalo robes in order to keep ourselves alive.
He could have been doing that before he killed the first
Could
kid.
just, fucking ate the bear
Didn't
at a
he walk
moderate
some-
pace.
Didn't he walk somewhere to get provisions?
Yeah, but it didn't last long. It lasted.
Can't they
fucking-
walk back there?
I think it's like
He doesn't. He's
barter.
shy.
Like you can't
It's like
just
a
be like,
trading
give me all your
post.
food without
Yeah.
robbing them. Yeah.
But I think I would rob someone before I killed my own kid.
Or take your whole family back there and just be like, bro, starvation. I fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought you were
exactly.
intelligent. Oh, you're right. Back at it. So after he ate all the leather straps and the tents and that, I discovered soon that my family wanted to leave me for fear of meeting the same fate as my boy. So
They knew.
it's on them. They know.
Yeah.
And he knows they know, but he's just like that fucked up now.
And I know you know that you
And I know you
I know.
Yeah.
If I was that wife, I would, Uno card him.
But what
and
do you
kill him
do,
first.
though?
I kill
Like,
him
go-
and eat him and let the kids eat him.
That's true, but then you become him with your
Why?
kids. I don't know.
I'm not doing it though because of the Wendigo. I'm doing it because he's
Gotta
turning
save
into
your
something
children,
and waste not, want not.
Well,
You're gonna have to kill him. Might as well eat him.
she wasn't known for intelligence, so she stayed
Uh-uh.
along. He was the intelligent one. He must have kept it somehow. So one morning I got up early and I didn't know why I was mad. It seems to me that all the devils had entered my heart. So he's talking about what's happening. He's talking about what they say is starts to take over. And
I
he's
think
already
it's-
eating the flesh,
Yeah.
I think these are just normal human emotions. That,
Exactly,
Like,
that's
but they're
why-
just they don't.
yeah.
That's how they
which
explain
is still
it.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Without adding, but it's cool to add like a.
Yeah.
But it could be like a condition.
No, but
This
that's what
Wendigo
they-
condition is like.
That's what they actually believe, though. Like
Yeah,
that's how
that's
they explain
it. Yeah.
emotions of what they feel.
Yeah. So my wife and children were asleep around me. Pushed by the evil spirit, I took my gun and placing the muzzle against her chest, I shot her, like his wife. I then, without any delay, took my hatchet and massacred my 3 little girls.
Aw.
There was now but one little boy. So the other boy that stayed with him, he ate. The oldest boy died, just of lack of nutrient, whatever it is, starvation, sick. So he had his wife and 3 girls left. So he just killed all them and left his one little boy, who I think it was more because he was little.
Yeah.
It was easy. Like the girls would have been like, "You've killed mum,"
Yeah.
and scream, whatever they would have done. So he's obviously just killed everybody who could.
And the little kid doesn't understand
Little
what's
kid's
going
just
on.
like, "I'm hungry. I just want food."
Yeah.
So there was now but one little boy, 7 years old. Although at 7,
You'd
pretty
know.
sure if I killed bees, he'd be like, "Dad, that's not." Yeah.
I think she'd eat it still.
Oh, she likes food.
She likes
She does like food. Yeah.
She doesn't.
Hurry up and cook her,
She doesn't
you
care.
monster!
She doesn't care where it's coming from as long as it's coming.
Wake up and shoot her. She's already like under the blanket, gnawing her leg. I'm the bagger. She massacred the 3 little girls. There was now the 1 boy left. I awoke him and told him to melt some snow for the water at once. So he's telling like
He's
the kid,
fucking doing it quick too. The
We're
kid's
get-
like,
yeah.
yep,
we're getting cooking.
staying on your good side.
The poor child was too weakened by long fasting to make any reflection on the frightful spectacle under his eyes. So he's woken him up. He's woken up, seen all his sisters dead and his mum dead, and he just didn't give a shit because he was that. Like,
Yeah.
He's pretty much with his dad. Like that was a pretty good idea, man.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to die as well. He's
Yeah.
like, very clever, very good. Yes,
Yeah.
yep, you
Yeah.
very smart man.
He's like, wait a minute, who's next? By the way.
Your hair's very luscious today.
I took the bodies of my little girls and cut them up. I did the same with the corpse of my wife. I broke the skulls and took out the brains and broke up the bones in order to get to the marrow. My
Loves
little
his marrow.
loves his. That's the best. That's apparently the best part.
Just
That's
feel like
the,
there'd be some people
it's got the good shit.
you crack open the skull and inside's just a little monkey playing cymbals. And there's no
Is
brain.
that crazy?
Yeah, it's just like, no, it's just like some of them are so dumb. Not them, but you know what I mean. Like people, you know.
Oh yes.
You.
You meant like the women. I thought you meant like the women that were there because he killed the 4
yeah.
girls.
No, it's just like sometimes you do that and you expect to see the like Homer Simpson when they're like brains, the zombies, and they just walk past.
Poor
it.
Ken Walker touch his head. Yeah. So they survived and lived for 7 or 8 days on the flesh I was eating of my wife and children, and the flesh he was eating of his mother and sister. So
I feel
7
like there
days.
wouldn't be that much flesh either, though.
For 7 days, if you're starving, I feel like that amount of meat would last a lot longer.
This
if you can
dude's a gl-
preserve,
this
if you can
dude is a
preserve,
glutton.
he's a glutton.
He's a
Yeah,
glutton.
he's got to be because you'd be
Yeah.
eating like organs and everything.
Everything.
Like, no
If
matter
you
how
can
skinny you
preserve
got,
it,
you
I don't know if
still
it
got
goes off or
organs.
whatever. In the snow, you
You've got
preserve
an
it.
all-time freezer.
Yeah, I don't even think you really cook most of it.
I think he just fucking killed him because he wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, and he just made up
'Cause
this
he's a
big
Wendigo.
fantastic story.
So at length, I left there all their bones and started with the last of my family. So like, and I thought that again too, like as in killing his son, but no, just started off. Left the
Oh,
bones
he
there,
left
and him
it,
and his
yeah.
son started off.
It's
Every
very,
time I
it's
read, I'm
very
like-
leading, isn't
I'm
it?
like, oh my god,
How
no,
the fuck did
not
he
yet.
make it
Very
to this
misleading.
church too? Like, he just made it to this church and was like,
Why
hey,
didn't he go there with his family?
What? He wanted to eat them.
Exactly. So snow began to melt, spring had commenced, ducks arrived and flew every day around us, and I could find enough to live on. But I felt reluctant to see people. So he's obviously starting to.
Wait, has he eaten the sun at this point?
No, his son's still with him. So I told
Nothing like
my
a bit of sun à l'orange.
Yeah.
We could have duck à l'orange or
But
sun à
now
l'orange.
he's starting to like, you have those thoughts of survival, and now he's surviving because there's ducks and that. So now the other thoughts are coming in, like the guilt or there's a witness here with me. I've done something.
Well, it can't
wrong.
be guilt, can it? If you're going to kill the other one that's
Well, not
still
so much
living.
guilt, but
Yeah.
like the outcomes of what he's done.
Yeah.
Like there's got a
Regret.
consequences
Yeah.
for what he's
He
done.
just fucking rocked up and told him though, and then let it. Why did that kid have to die?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think in the end, I'll get to it, but when he does that, he's left with no choice but to die or head back. Which he should have done earlier.
That's what I'm getting.
This is why, like Cuckoo the Wendigo, like he just got
Yeah.
a taste for flesh after he really was the
He
first
just-
son, where he really was. They were dying.
This is just a really long story about him just wanting to eat his family and then making up excuses for it.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I reckon that's what it
Yeah.
was like a lot.
Like being
there.
the Wendigo
Yeah.
was just like, you just want to eat people.
So I told my son that after some days we would meet people. They will know very well soon that I am a murderer, and they will certainly make me die. As to you, there is no fear. Say all you know, no harm will be done to you. So he's starting to get a bit like there's consequences.
This is really typical
Yeah. One
of
day,
men.
yeah. One day I killed many ducks. I was a few miles from Egg Lake where some relations of mine live, which is like if there's relations there, mate, take your whole
Ain't none of this adding up.
I was sitting at the campfire when I told my sons. So they're not at where his relations is. He's just
Yeah.
not far from him. I was sitting at the campfire where I told my son to go and fetch something 5 or 6 paces off. At that moment, the devil suddenly took possession of my
fuck,
soul.
this
So he's
fucking-
blaming the devil.
I'm gonna use
Unless
this.
it's real.
No, I'm gonna use this next time. Dan's like, "Why didn't you hang those clothes out, or why didn't you do this?" I'll be like, "The devil possessed me and put that remote control in my hand, and I had to sit down."
And chew your lips off for
Like,
added
just take
effect.
some responsibility for what you've done.
No.
So it took possession of his soul, the devil. And in order to live longer far from people, so now he's making excuses, not far from people. Your relatives are up the fucking hill probably. And to put out of the way the only witness to my crimes, I seized my gun
Oh, the Lord sees you.
and killed the last of my children and ate him as I did the
You
others.
didn't even have to eat him though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
No.
So
it's become a thing.
one second he's like, yeah, you can tell anyone you want. It's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then next minute he's just like, oh, a witness.
He started thinking like he could probably make a story up like I had. In the end, he could just say I had to eat him. But if there's a kid there going, oh, he just killed everybody.
Yeah.
And ate them," like a little whisper, he's done. So he's
Yeah.
like, I got to get rid of that.
He's so fucking like this whole story starts with. So I killed like 16 bears, and it's like you were so unbelievable from the start.
Yeah,
like,
that's a wealth of food
yeah, and he's like,
to eat everybody in my family when my relatives are over there.
I wonder his brother and mother left.
Yeah. So there was a trial on the 16th of August where he was found guilty and hung on the 20th of December. So they're like, all the evidence was there. They're like,
Mate, even if there wasn't, you're a
You
First
are-
Nations person, they're just going to kill you.
yeah,
anyway.
because the amount of bones and how they were hacked and, people being close and all that sort of stuff, they're just like, you murdered him. So he got done. He was guilty and hung.
I'm surprised anyone cared, to be honest. They just probably looking for
Well, it's
excuse
getting to the
hang him.
stage of, there's a lot of talk of like the white people coming up and,
Do you know what's-
wanting like excuses to
100
move in and take over and
I was
control.
I was
Yeah.
literally like, they probably went and hung him because of the monstrous crimes of killing your whole family. And they're like, okay, boys, let's go get that settlement up there and kill
Yeah.
them. Like, you know what
That's
I mean?
what they started
Like,
doing. There was
yeah.
excuses like, it's pretty easy to make an excuse for people murdering other people, but
This-
really it's there.
To be honest, this might not have even happened. It was literally like the Reverend's like, I gotta go to cover story for what we did to him and his family.
He's like,
You
I
know
never
what
had
I
a
mean?
family. I'm just the chief of that tribe over there. Yes, and when did you kill them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then he's just like, hey, what? I didn't kill anyone. Hang him.
Yeah.
And when those people are in control, that are the ones that hand out like the consequences and stuff, are getting something out of it too. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
You
no.
could tell them, you don't even have to come up with the story.
It makes you wonder, and I've been doing that a lot lately, like the amount of history we've either missed out on because it's been rewritten by people who want to
The winners.
look
The
better.
victors.
the
Yeah,
victors always.
that's been rewritten like all the bad shit they've either done or all like the really cool stories or anything because it's
Yeah.
just been wiped out because they don't want you to know about it sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, Wendigo hunters were a thing.
Oh,
So-
really?
I've dumbed this down a bit because it went into a lot of depth and it wasn't as
Yeah.
cool like your Van Helsing with a crossbow, but Wendigo hunters were actually a thing. So Chief Porcupine Standing, Sideways was his name, the chief of the village, an old fella, was a Wendigo hunter. So Chief Porcupine Standing Sideways.
That is
No
so, do you know,
way.
do you know what I'm imagining?
No way.
Yeah, a porcupine standing sideways in like a mirror, like, oh, got a bit of tummy in you now. That's okay. Just gearing up for it. Like, that's what I think
Yeah.
of when you say that. But we talked before about you could have Swift Runner or you could be
Yeah.
porcupine standing sideways.
So such a mouthful, that one, though.
Wasn't porcupine something to do with
You
when
can't
they
eat them
kill
all.
or
Yeah, it's something to do with the Wendigo. So, but if they're standing sideways, he's probably like, gone sideways, kill Wendigo.
He's like a gangster porcupine. Like,
He's like, I take their name and everything, come at me.
Yeah.
But they reckon he's killed like heaps of Wendigos, and like the villagers looked up to him like he was everything.
Really?
He saved
This
them.
dude
and-
sounds badass.
yeah.
like
So and his son after him, Jack Fiddler. So his son sounds like a bloody pedophile. So he's gone from a great name, and he's going to call his son like Jack Fiddler. So Wendigos were not the worry in that tribe.
I don't think fiddler was like a. I don't think that was a colloquial term for like a molester.
the first thing
back
I
in the
thought,
day.
okay.
I don't-
Mr.
as we-
Fiddler.
Mr. Fiddler, stop!
He probably played the fiddle.
It's the Wendigo, guys. You know all about it.
Yeah.
So Porcupine Standing had spells and defeated many Wendigos.
Sorry, you did not say his full name.
Jack Fiddler.
No,
you said porcupine standing. I want to hear the whole name.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Chief Porcupine Standing Sideways. As I like to say, CPSS. Shiss. Chips.
I think it's a sick name. Sorry,
It's
just
so
call it-
sick. It's
It's a
just
cool
too
name.
much, but
Just call
too
it
good.
porcupine standing. That's fine.
P-Man. So
He might
P-Man
like it.
Standing had spells and defeated many Wendigos. So when he passed, his son Jack took over the family business.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's unknown how many Jack Fiddler bagged, but he was said to be more than 20. So how many Wendigos he killed? There's like
This is just a murderer.
people
like,
said
they're
he's
just
killed. Yeah,
murderers, right?
people said he's killed 14, 20, 20 something. It could be hundreds. The way they said how
So
many
his dad's
Wendigos
an
he's-
absolute Wendigo legend.
dad
and then
was
he,
a
when he-
legend,
and
and
when
he
he
passed.
died,
There's a
this
little
dude took
story
over.
on him, but it's just shit about killing Wendigos with
Yeah.
powers and that. His dad was like a legend. His
Yeah.
son takes over chief of the clan
Mhm.
Yeah.
and kills Wendigos too.
straight into the family business.
Yeah.
That would be like a good HBO story or something about, when you're just like a teenager, it's like, I'm not going to be like you, Dad.
Yeah.
The dad's like, you'll have to, it's in your blood. And then
Yeah.
he like everything he touches, he just always kills.
Murdering's fun.
Him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, you were right.
Yeah, he has like a whole story arc where he's like, yes, Dad, I want
Yeah.
to be like you. Because his
So-
dad gets killed by a Wendigo and he has
Yeah.
to take up.
But
yeah.
like
Yeah.
we were talking about in 1906, so it's getting on a bit more. In 1906, though, reality finally caught up with Jack when he and his brother Joseph were arrested for the murder of Joseph's daughter-in-law after she was experiencing Wendigo change. So
Yeah.
it's starting to catch up.
Yeah.
So Wahasaka Pique was
yeah.
becoming extremely delirious, rolling around in immense pain, groaning. She was brought back to Jack, and so she was brought to them,
Yeah.
Jack and Joseph, to be dealt with and killed by wrapping string around her neck and strangling her to death. So that was one of the ways you could kill a Wendigo, was something to do with like cutting off the link or
The airway.
yeah.
Oxygen.
It's a fancy word for saying I murdered a girl. But she was obviously like, these are real symptoms. She was in a lot of pain. She was groaning, going delirious.
I feel like they say the Wendigos are legit. Like, it's a legitimate thing. People do that, whatever. I feel like if your whole job is to do that, anything that someone suffered from, like, who are you to say, you know what I mean? Like,
you wouldn't want to like roll your ankle or
1900s.
anything, would you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that you could
Got a
have,
splinter.
Yeah.
you have a fever.
You want to pull that out? Pull something out.
You have a fever and start like mumbling in your sleep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how priests and everyone related with like a religion are always needing exorcisms or something like that.
Yeah.
It just becomes a lot.
Yeah.
So by strangling her to death, and they use like like rags and stuff, like cloth rags, and just literally bent her backwards and strangled her to death. So thrown in a hole full of timber, her body was burnt and buried. So like proper practice.
Yeah.
They were strictly professional.
I don't know who that is. Sorry. His son could have just got a divorce.
It was his daughter-in-law. His son's daughter-in-law.
His son, so his
So
granddaughter.
his son was Jack and Joseph. Joseph's daughter-in-law.
Yeah, so his son's wife.
I claim what is it called? When you got something to do with the other person when you're going for a job.
Oh yeah, where it's like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest. I claim that.
That's
But he
huge.
didn't, yeah.
They should have got another Wendigo hunter from out of state to come in and do
Deal
it
with
no
that, yeah.
conflict
Well,
of interest.
Authorities already looking for a reason to gain more control over the natives. So this is 1906, so it's becoming more and more present of the modern man. Reason to gain more control over the natives used this opportunity to move in, arresting the Wendigo hunters. When their fellow tribe members found out the trial would be held hundreds of miles away, they were outraged. So they're like, "This is it here. It's normal." Like, and 100 miles. Let's take you back to our home ground.
Where it's not.
Yeah, and charge you as if you were back on our home ground doing this stuff. And yet the boys would go peacefully with their officers to find out their fate. As the discussions on whether murder charges should be the outcome.
They literally, this is what, sorry, it just really bothers me. They literally went through and killed tribes upon tribes and tribes of people. And then as soon as like this happens, like I'm not saying what they did was right or wrong.
Because we all know what they're doing.
But now, now you care.
We all know what they're doing. Back
Like,
then it wouldn't have
that's
been like, they wouldn't know the tribes, but everyone knows.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, it's just an excuse. Like you said, like don't masquerade like you give a fuck. You
Yeah.
don't. You just want to kill some more natives.
But on September 30th, Jack Fiddler, after being held for 100 days, walked off alone into the forest. So they're all being held in captivity while the trials are going on.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it because they are hesitating. There's a lot of people who are like, that's their way.
I feel like that's why they like reservations are awful, but I feel like that's why they have separate legal systems. And
It was a proper legal system where a lot of people were like, "That's just they don't know any. That's how they do it. It's their beliefs and all that. So this shouldn't
Just
be.
leave it alone.
It shouldn't be part of our culture. It's their culture.
It's not our place to judge. They should be.
Yeah, so it's going back and forward. But during that, he walked off alone in the forest. He was later found lying on a rock with his belt tied around his neck.
He killed himself.
So he ended up killing himself. So on October 7th, 1907, Joseph's fate was discussed. So the brother's still living. Guilty.
Yeah, obviously.
The jury's verdict, along with their recommendation with mercy to be shown to the defendant, because they're like, different cultures, same thing again. Like, that's just how they've done it. It's not like it is here. The judge was like, how about a no?
So yeah, it's almost like, oh, we should show mercy
Yeah.
because it's a different culture. It's
They're
like
trying
maybe
to
let a group of his peers decide then.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And Joseph was sentenced to death by hanging. January 1908, Joseph became very ill and was moved to Stony Mountain, where he soon passed away before his sentence could pass, like before they could hang him. Sadly, a few days prior to his death, Joseph was pardoned after several letters signed by jurors at his trial came through. So the overwhelming signatures and a lot of people just going, enough's enough. That's how it is out there.
Just
They
leave
don't-
him alone.
Yeah, it's not like commonplace. But it took 7 days for the pardon to actually arrive after his death. So he died for the letter to get to him. But because of how they kept him, it killed him anyway.
oh yeah.
So they were innocent in the end, both of them.
I mean, they killed someone.
Well, they
But
killed
why
someone.
did they
yeah.
kill it? What did
Yeah.
they think?
They wouldn't care that they're killing each other anyway.
No, but the village were outraged.
Doing the job for
like,
himself.
yeah,
Like, you know what I
that's-
mean?
yeah.
Like-
Their entire culture was like, this is bullshit. That's what they do. Leave him here.
Mm.
And like we just had to put our finger in it and go, no, I want to just
Barbarians.
yeah.
White savior.
So yeah, that's pretty messed up. But there are many ways to cure the curse,
I bet.
and there's in depth in all these little things. But it pretty much just is hot tallow animal fat grease, which is like what we talked about earlier. So
Melts
it
the
melts the
heart.
heart and also feeds you, so you prevents you from starving, just to bring you back to being human and normal, so you don't have those thoughts anymore.
Yeah.
Religious conviction, like prayer, same thing. Like you're fine.
A little bit of
Like,
spooky do.
Yeah, spooky dude. That's all it
Spooky-doo.
was really. Alcohol.
What religion were they?
I don't know what religion,
Oh,
like
it's like-
shamanism or whatever.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
Yeah.
just like a.
Not like your priests and all
Each
that.
tribe was different, but it was just like their cultural beliefs. Like, you know, I think it's very similar to, I guess, like Indigenous Australians. You know what I mean? Like they had their
They would have like
idea
a
of
dream time,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
It's like your shaman. It's stuff to do with shamanism
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
very
Out-
spiritual, very
Yeah.
spiritual.
This is my favorite one, alcohol. So they would drink enough alcohol where the warmth would
Oh,
kill, and also would probably fill you up in a way, would make you
Mate.
feel not hungry.
Every
Yeah.
Saturday
A
night,
good old
Yeah.
I
Guinness.
would be rocking up to the fucking Chiefs
Yeah.
tent. I'd be like, oh, feeling a bit.
Midday Saturday,
Yeah.
I feel a Wendigo coming on. That's what they say on the way to the pub. I feel a Wendigo coming on. We better drink ourselves silly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Carl? He's like, he's got no lips. Well, Carl's already gone.
I'll drink his.
Joseph, Jack, Mr. Fiddler. So trickery was another one where you could use, same to do with the shaman's powers. You could trick the Wendigo into possessing an animal instead of that body, like a rabbit or wolf or dog. Trick it into possessing that body instead, and then killing that animal.
That
to
sounds
kill
more
the Wendigo.
creepy though. What if you don't
Yeah.
kill it?
And a lot more work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
What
gives
if,
me
what if it
vibes.
gets into like a wolf and there you got a Wendigo wolf running around?
And then it gets a pack.
Yeah.
Gets into like a bear, and yeah, you have to wrestle a bear.
Next
yeah.
minute the wilderness is out there, and,
Yeah.
and Fiddler's like, I can't.
I can't heal it. This is
I
too
love
much.
animals.
This workload's uncontrollable.
So powerful shaman, medicine man.
Mm.
So a doctor, please, it's gonna fix it.
Stop it! You can't be this disparaging about people's cultures,
Doctors,
unless they're
doctors.
the Catholics.
So
The Christians,
yeah,
the Westboro
unless it's
Church.
what I want it to be. So dog sacrifice, dog law. So I was a bit confused on this one, but dog sacrifices would do it. Some would put dog heads on a post outside their village to scare off Wendigos or something. But they didn't really. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really read into that one. It bored me a bit. I don't know why the dog sacrifice has done it.
I don't
So
know.
sacrifice a dog and put a dog's head in like a pole.
Like scares
yeah,
them
like
away.
a
Yeah,
pipe.
prevents them from really
Facing the other
yeah,
way.
yeah.
That wouldn't
like an
if that-
effigy.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do that to a dog, man, that's a messed up tribe. Like, who's the real Wendigo here? Bunch
Yeah.
of fucking Wendigos in there.
Yeah, the Wendigo's coming and
I'm
he's like, them
staying out
people are
here."
fucking sick. I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though if that was like Finny, like a big golden retriever? Like,
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Welcome."
Yeah.
Like, come on
It's so
in.
adorable.
And ways of killing a Wendigo can range from, and this is just pretty much burning it, like we talked about, burn the body, burn the soul. Hot tallow, an overdose. So if he's already eaten the flesh and that, you could force feed
Oh,
all that hot tallow, and it's pretty much like drowning him, I
Yuck.
guess, the person, killing the person, but the overheating of the heart and the spine. And
Imagine that getting killed that way. Someone shoving bear fat down your mouth.
And I don't
to
think
you.
it would be
So
boiled.
sick.
I don't think it'd be boiled to temperature for eating. It'd be
Oh yeah, you're right.
kettles, and I was like, how's kettles going to do it? But apparently they could trick him into falling into a boiling pot of kettles, like
like a big
shoving 'em in there.
cauldron sort of
Yeah,
thing.
cauldron sort of things. Silver bullets or normal bullets. Silver bullets are only there because of
Silver
how
bullets
close-
or normal bullets.
That's what they said, because someone did kill one with a normal bullet apparently.
Yeah.
But silver bullets, they reckon, was more attached to the law of vampires and werewolves. It just
Yeah.
they ran with that because it was with other laws. So
Yeah,
but
imagine
normal bullets
that they
apparent-
tried the silver bullets first, and then someone kills it with a normal bullet. And you didn't have to do that.
You didn't
Fuck me, we just
Spending all this
mortgaged
money.
our house for those
Yeah.
bullets. Like,
cut
Yeah.
cut its heart out into pieces, which sounds so easy when you get a hold of one. Like
sounds super emo.
Yeah.
So cut its heart out and then cut
Cut
the
it to
heart
pieces.
into pieces.
Yep, kill it in the spirit realm. So
Is that more spooky do? Like,
spooky
No,
dude.
but the thing about that is like, so who's going in?
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go back.
Porcupine
there.
sitting
Yeah.
sideways doing like sideways push-ups. I'll do it. Why not?
Gives me like, what's it called? Like, what's the Stranger Things?
Oh,
The upside down. Who's going
Oh,
in?
yeah.
Oh, damn, really? Do I have to this time?
Scissors, paper, rock.
This is my favorite one. Hit it with an axe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like old mate who got tied up
Yeah.
and smacked to death.
Strangle it to death.
That's yeah.
And they said something about cutting off the soul, the spirit, or
The oxygen.
the windpipe. The windpipe. But it
The
seemed-
Wendigo.
The Wendigo, but it seems like oh, it's a good one.
Mm.
Where'd the wind go? Not in and out.
Not in your lungs, mate.
Bitch is tired. It seems that most of the stories and lore of the Wendigo are from the distant past, though. Stories have mostly died off during the mid-20th century. A lot of the tribes have only vague memories saying it was long ago when last the Wendigo appeared. So,
No one's starving as much as they used to be.
it's getting better, and by the 1940s, Cree and Ojibwe tribes have said that the monstrous beasts have moved further north into harsher and less populated regions. So, it's like we're thinking, the worse it is, it's obviously going to be further north now because it's still harsher up there.
Yeah.
So that's where the stories are coming from now. In the 1970s, it was said among a handful of tribes that the last remaining Wendigo was run over by a train in 1962.
So
now, this
unlucky.
is half funny but also half creepy. It was extremely hungry, going without human flesh for quite some time. Being so hungry and desperate, it tried to stop a train, the Canadian National Railroad train, to devour its passengers. So it got desperate. It's like, I'm pulling this up to eat everybody on board. That's pretty fucked up.
And death by train wasn't on the list of how to kill him.
So he was pretty confident. So he wanted to add to the list. He's like, it won't kill me,
I
obviously.
can't die from this.
Standing on the track in front of the train, trying to paralyze the engine with its appearance and superhuman powers, it was run over and killed due to lack of power because it was so hungry.
That gives me that South
yeah.
Park.
That'd also be like a technology thing. Like this thing has never seen technology, so it thinks it can paralyze people. It can probably paralyze this big
train with an engine as the heart, I guess. And yeah. So whether or not you believe the stories of large ogre-like creatures as tall as trees roaming in the wilderness, or skinny little fuckers invading and taking over your spirit through dreams,
They're creepier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it just a natural defense mechanism? This is all me, by the way.
Look at just look at
Sounds like it's read from a book.
You're doing great,
You were
sweetie.
doing
You're
so
doing so
good.
good.
What do you mean was?
Yeah.
Or
Look
is it
at you.
just a
We'll give
natural...
you your sticker in a minute.
Yeah,
Keep
thank you.
going. You're doing
A
great.
big one?
Josh, you've done wonderfully. You're
Or
a
is
natural
it-
storyteller.
Or is it just a natural defense mechanism or something similar for survival for when a human's body is stretched so far it needs to become something else to survive?
I think so.
You need to turn, you need to be something else to go to the next stage or you die.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Your body,
It's a survival
it's a
instinct.
survival instinct. For the most cases, there are murderous people who would use it as it.
You talk about fight or flight. It's like a similar.
Yeah, you can't help it. It's a natural thing. To something monstrous. So you turn into something monstrous. I believe the Wendigo is very real. It lives amongst us. Everybody walking past you down the street, passing you, bumping shoulders, making eye contact, look closely at their eyes beyond those glassy gateways is the entrance to the soul, the spirit. For there's a Wendigo waiting patiently for its release in all of us. It just
You're so smart. It's good. It is, but your face is ruining it.
I'm trying to. It just. I'm so proud of myself. It just needs that one opening, one excuse to come forward and begin its violent magical chaos once again. Can you feel him stirring?
Josh.
Waiting, wanting, craving. Maybe put a jacket on next time you open that door and it's cold outside and smash that donut if you're hungry because you hold the key to that which the world is not ready for.
Oh,
God, Josh,
goosebumps.
you're
So that was that's what I think of
That's
the
your
Wendigo was
interpretation.
everybody has this deep
Yeah.
something in it's
Ability.
not spiritual, it's like a
an
natural
ability.
thing
It's an ability.
that if you are pushed to the end, you will do shit. Especially if you're out like you think of the show The Terror.
Yeah.
How they went. Like was it Hickey or the dude who scared me? He was
He's
like
Hickey,
he was
yeah.
pushed to the end, man. He's like doing what he needed to survive.
I think he was kind of a
it made
piece
him
of
go
shit too.
He was a piece of shit to start with, yeah.
I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but it's also like, for example, like you don't know what you do, but you hear a lot of stories about similar cases, and it's always like the parents do everything they can to protect their kids or their family or whatever.
Yeah.
I think whilst like what you said is true, everyone is capable of it. It
Yeah.
also depends on you as a person and what you like what you believe you would do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like some people will just be like, I'll just eat my kids, like, and not care as much as others who would do
there's
anything.
different
Yeah.
thresholds, and people
Some
would
people are
sometimes
more evil than
some
others.
evil people
Yeah.
would look for that excuse. They
Selfish,
only
maybe.
need a nudge.
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
situation
The
like that,
boundary
they're
isn't that
there.
much.
Whereas other people would last to the very end, where
Yeah.
it actually just naturally kicks in. But a lot of people would look for just an opening,
We
and
were
they're
talking-
like, "Time to go schizo."
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Indianapolis, that one where it was the sinking in 19 wherever, and it was like the rate at which they turned to cannibalism was like,
Was that with the sharks and that?
yeah, when they were in the water, and the things they started doing to each other, like with
They reckon the seawater done that as well, drinking the seawater, dehydrating
Yeah,
so
but this-
quick
but
when it
yeah,
would go cuckoo.
turns you crazy.
this
Yeah.
shit happened within like the first day.
Yeah, it would have been like so many emotions,
they
like
were
terror.
like cannibalizing each
Yeah.
other, killing it, like
Yeah.
swimming up and stabbing and pushing away,
Pushing
Yeah.
away,
like
yeah.
raping one another in the water
Yeah, I heard about
within a day.
'Cause they're
Like
like-
it took
yeah.
no time for them
Yeah.
to be like, oh well,
Hello, see
It's just a bunch of Wendigos in the water.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think it depends a lot on who your constitution as a person, and what you're capable.
How long
of.
you can last.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, it's in everybody. It's survival.
I don't think I'd eat like my kid. I think we'd both die.
The
before
fella
I did
from
that, you know what I mean?
what Andy's one, Nando, said he wouldn't eat his mother and sister and wouldn't allow anyone else to do it. But that was also because there were
You
other
can't do
bodies.
that. I'm sorry, but if we're all eating everyone's relatives, your relatives aren't off the table. You know what I mean?
I think if you're there and that's there, it's happening. At some point, it's going to happen.
You eat your own relatives last, right?
That's what it was like.
You follow the family tree as it spreads out. They're the ones you take first.
Exactly. But you can't be like, I'm going to eat your wife, but you can't touch my family. But I'm going to get to eat a little bit of all your family.
I mean, that's not fair.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very just.
Yeah. I think a lot of it too is like being that long ago in such a remote part. They didn't have any words for it. Like they were just like, when this person done this, they were like, oh, it's the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the science and stuff behind it.
And because there's not much to do in terms of now we got all these. Oh, this sounds a bit simple, but like your TV shows now, we've got heaps of things now to fill our imagination. Back then, that was just survival, and they would have had stories. So many stories. It would have all been stories, like people eating other people's terrifying.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of a story to it. It's crazy.
But it's also like dream time, right? Like a lot of the stories, it's like a fable, right?
Yeah.
It's all to keep you alive. So you would teach little kids, don't go down there because of like the yowie or like the bunyip is in there. And it was so that the kids didn't go and drown or whatever. You know what I mean? It all had meaning.
And they did, so there was stuff in the book too, like where they tell explorers too, like, don't go down to that river. That's where this Wendigo lives. It kills people.
Yeah.
And that's like stories like that to prevent people from going into areas.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's what like mum and dad used to say to us. There was sharks in the dam, and then because we'd still go to the edge of the dam, it started to be crocodiles, and then that shit stays with you forever.
Yeah.
And I look at that dam and I go,
I'm scared. I'm
a 32-year-old lady and I ain't going in that dam.
Yeah. I used to be terrified of going to their bedroom. You know, we weren't allowed in their room.
Yeah.
And it was at the end of the hallway and it was always dark.
And
I used to have nightmares of what was in there. I used to get dragged to that room in my nightmares. And
So I was talking to Grandma about this the other day, and she was telling me that their bedroom was the room where they used to lay out all the dead people, like because they die at home, whatever. And I remember we were getting babysat once by Mel, who used to live in this house. You remember Mel?
Yeah.
I'll have to cut out those names. But she was babysitting us with a friend, and I remember getting woken up, and it was her and her friend had come into my room and slammed the door, and she was holding on to like, what do you call it, like the thing from the fireplace, the poker.
Yeah.
And they were freaking out, and then they got me out of bed and they ran me back to the land. You guys could die, who cares? They ran me back to because I'd woken up, to the kitchen, and you know where the phone used to be in the kitchen. They'd rung Pa to come over. Because I'm gonna contact her and ask her. They had seen something in mum and dad's bedroom, but I was little, I don't remember. And Pa came over with like a torch and like just walked down the hallway, like no nonsense, kind of looked all
just
around.
Flogging
with the
shit.
torch.
Yeah, no, I can't see that.
Just mum's wedding ring, and came back out and was like, "There's nothing in there," sort of thing. And I'm pretty sure he stayed with them until mum and dad came home. Like they were shitting themselves. And they don't know what they saw, or it wasn't like.
Because I always had bad dreams.
From what I remember, is it wasn't human, like what they were talking about. Like they'd seen something had happened in there, and they don't know. Like, I just remember like they'd gone down the hallway, and that's why they ended up in my room, because they'd gone down the hallway to be like, "What the fuck?" And they'd seen something, so they ducked into my room and slammed the door. Because they were scared. They were terrified. And I remember them taking me out there, and I had no idea what was going on. I was just like, whatever. Pa came over and everything, and he's just like, no, there's nothing in there. There's no one in there, and had to wait until mum and dad came home.
That's messed up. It just messed up like how it sounds less real because we're talking about it and it's happened to us and we're doing these sort of shows. But I just remember always being terrified of that area of the house.
Yeah.
Just for no reason at all. It's not like my parents would beat me when I thought about going down that way.
Yeah.
And remember, like, it'd be nighttime, you need to go to the toilet, and the toilet's so far away.
Yeah,
I'd almost run to the toilet and back.
I just piss in the bed.
Yeah.
I still do it.
You also
the toilet's right there.
You also had the added, you never knew where dad was and how long he would be waiting for you to walk past to scare. Like, I watch him
Oh,
even
yeah,
now,
you got to be always on his toes.
even with Junie. Like, he will wait for 10 to the point where I've forgotten he's waiting in a door
Yeah.
of the hallway for her to walk past. And it is just insane.
I can't let my kids or anyone around near my ankles, like with a grip on my ankles, because you know you used to
Oh,
hide
Dad
under the
used to
bed
do
and you
that,
walk
grab.
past and he would grab your ankle and go
Yeah.
under the bed and you're like, holy shit, something's pulling me under.
I think he has like a mental disorder because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
amount of joy he would get out of purposely terrifying you.
And now
the
we do it.
effort
I,
he
st- I
put in.
still
I
can't
do it
walk
to
over
my
like
kids
an
all the
electric
time.
fence.
Oh yeah.
Still can't do that.
Oh, never can I.
No.
Do you know what I do to Juniper? You know how have you ever seen those high smile ads where it's like the purple stuff to make your teeth whiter? And they put purple in their teeth. It's like a thing that makes your teeth whiter and you rinse out and it's gone.
Yeah.
I put the purple all in my teeth and I come out and I go, I'm a wicked witch and I'm going to eat you. And she screams, Mummy, please stop. And I stop straight away. But it's just, you can't help yourself because it's so funny to you to scare the shit out of someone.
Remember when we used to like our old bedroom over there, the linked door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go in there and used to turn off the light and used to hide, and Dad used to come in looking for you and he was making like
You hear
noises and stuff.
Why
Yeah.
do we do that to ourselves?
He's coming close to you and you look like, oh fuck,
Because
fuck,
it was
fuck.
fun at the time, but
Yeah.
it was not.
That was so creepy.
No, thinking about it now. You can close out the show if you
Yeah.
want. What do you like and subscribe if you enjoy
Yeah, you do all that stuff and I'll just. I don't know that stuff. Like and subscribe.
the fucking
At
backbone
Mellow
of this.
Tiger something.
That was cool though. I really enjoyed that.
Thank
I
you.
did too. Your writing was very good, Josh. You really painted a picture in the end there. I'm actually very
It
suitably
actually takes a lot more
impressed.
work than I thought it would.
I'm
Yeah.
going to run that through an AI generator to see if you actually wrote that.
Yeah. It will be fine.
I'm just kidding.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can get like AI generated things being written these days. Like it's like a huge issue
Oh,
because of ChatGPT.
I heard about that. It's something you can type into a website and it just
GPT,
changes
ChatGPT.
words to make you sound smarter
See,
or
that's
whatever
how
it may be.
people are responding to people that text them now.
with ChatGPT.
Like, yeah, someone
Yeah.
texts them and they'd like copy that, put it in, and then the AI like replies to it, and then
Yeah.
they send that.
Because they don't know how to reply
Yeah.
and they want to do it.
I
think
have,
that's
I
kinda
know what you're
sick.
talking about, but I didn't. I just felt like that would be more effort than trying to get this thing set up and put my words
Oh
in
no!
there.
I think it costs money to do that.
does,
to use it, but I think it's like I actually think it's really good because someone can send you a message and you don't know how to articulate it, so you paste it into ChatGPT or whatever it is, and then you type something like, "Can you please respond to this in a respectful way, but
Yeah.
all saying no or something like that," and it does it really well
Yeah.
for you, and you just send it back to him.
Yeah.
All the world's
I've heard it. I think
narcissistic
bees use
mothers
it
are
every now and then.
crumbling.
Yeah.
She uses
every
it.
now and again.
For what?
I don't know. I just made that up.
For
I think
you?
No, I think she told me about it. I don't know if she used it.
Probably uses it for work.
Still in a uni course, I think.
She like wants something from you. She like puts into ChatGPT. So like, how do I manipulate my husband into something I
And the
want?
sentences are so
Yeah.
boring and big words. I just go, yeah, whatever, hun.
Sometimes I'm like that with Dan. He's like, can we talk about it? And I'm like, this is about this fucking sheep rollover thing again. It's not happening.
Very good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Josh,
Oh, that was it.
you can take it out, mate.
How do I take it out? Can I press buttons?
No, you fucking cannot touch anything.
Random buttons.
No.
Right.
Thanks so much for joining us, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See you later.
Bye.